41 yards away from greatness. 41 yards away from winning a national championship last night. I was at the edge of my seat last night watching the title game. And I remember Testaverde throwing a pick to end one of our title games. And I was like, so I started texting Ruben Bain and Magawa and a bunch of the guys, Messidor. I text Mario and I said, I couldn't be more prouder of you guys in your journey to get the University of Miami back to where we need to see the program. And if you're going to lose, you're going to lose to a great story like that with the Indiana Hoosiers coming from nowhere to win the national title. I'll talk more later on about Cignetti and how great a coach he is. I think he's the best coach in the country right now. There's no college coach. This guy had 2 programs in the 12-team tournament. This guy built James Madison, then he built Indiana. Indiana wins the national title, goes 16-0. It's a great story. Fernando Mendoza, local kid, Cuban kid. His parents were Castro refugees. Mario Cristobal, a Cuban-American with his family, Castro refugees. Most people don't know what that means and the significance of it, but these guys were exiled from their country because of political beliefs. I mean, they were thrown out of their country, and they were citizens of Cuba. And one guy's coaching the Miami Hurricanes, and the other guy's holding the Heisman Trophy, now a national title. Absolutely awesome. You know what, Flex? Better to have been than never been. Better to have been than never been. How you doing? How you doing? Oh, you bet I'm proud as hell of the University of Miami. Proud as hell of my boys last night. By the way, they'll probably put about 4 guys in the draft in the first round coming up in April. And would you like some of them guys on like Ruben Bain? We'll put Ruben Bain on. It's one of my boys. Very proud of the kid, man. Missed field goal and a block punt stopped us from winning the national championship for number 6. Proud of the guys, man. Absolutely proud of them. And it's in good hands, and I'm very proud of Mario Cristobal, who's been on this program. And I think we're going to be right back in the picture next year. We got a bunch of great kids coming in. Excuses. Ain't no excuses, man, for greatness. We'll get our 6th national title, boss. How you doing? Yeah, see, we have 5 now since 1983. 5. 2 dudes are going to go in. Kane's going into the Hall of Fame, too. Kane's going into the Hall of Fame. Either Frank Gore or Reggie Wayne. Somebody's going in. Somebody always goes into the Hall of Fame from the University of Miami. Don't they? In 3 years, we'll have the most Hall of Famers of any team in the country for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Our school will produce the most NFL Hall of Famers in about 3 years. Hopefully Dallas drafts Bain. Dude, you put Bain on that team with Williams, you'll win the NFC East. Mendoza said he would take shots for his team. Of course he would. By the way, Tom Brady was there to see him. Okay? He is. He was there to see Fernando Mendoza. I think he's going to take him with the number 1 overall pick. It was a good season, and you should be proud regardless. Thank you, Jeff. Absolutely. I'm very proud of the guys. You bet, man. Very proud to be University of Miami. Absolutely. Mendoza's a joke. Mendoza's got more skill set than Hurts ever had coming out of college. So he's a joke. By the way, he didn't wilt in the title game in college. This guy carried through and won a national title, not at Alabama, at Indiana. And he didn't get replaced. College sports is the joke. College sports is awesome. Most people who don't like college sports don't know anything about it. That's why. Sileo was crying in Mark Holmes' arms after the Canes loss. My legacy's set, Junior. I've got my championship rings. What would I be crying for? I've got rings. I'm good. I was hoping for those kids to get rings so that they could push their legacy on the Wall of Fame at the University of Miami, where my name is. Sills wouldn't say that to you if he was the Eagles. What are you saying? What are you talking about? Jeff, Eagles lost in the first round. It's all good. So did Johnny Manziel or Jamarcus Russell show me that he could do in the pros? Then I'll have an opinion on Mendoza, but I have liked what I've seen so far. Manziel and Jamarcus Russell didn't do shit in college. He won the national title, went undefeated, won the Heisman Trophy, and he ended up holding up the title at the end. He did it all. He did what Joe Burrow did with lesser talent. With lesser talent. How you doing? Yes, sir, baby. Yes, sir. I'm very proud of those guys. Very proud of those guys. All right, so let me pull this up here. By the way, Angelo Cataldi today at 3:30. What you got to say about Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni? That'll be at 3:30. Hit the like button. Supers go to the top. So let me pull this up here. Let's see here. I want to go here. Let's go down the list here. Here we go. And we're going to slide down here. And we are going to go here because somebody sent me a report. And here we go. Let's go here. Trade. Okay. So, there are reports now that A.J. Brown is going to be traded in this offseason. And ESPN is now reporting that he'll be traded. And that he and the Eagles are parting ways. So, as I said, I don't want this to go. And I don't want this to go down this way. Moving A.J. Brown does not make you better. However, how did it get here? Why does A.J. want out? Now you've got people like Jeremy Fowler. You've got other folks that are now putting this out that the Eagles will be moving him in the offseason. Well, we're now here. How did it get here? How did it get here that he wants out? By the way, I think this is on AJ. Okay? I do. I think this is more on AJ wanting out. If AJ's checked out, it's better than staying in. Stupidity. This Eagles offense is a career breaker for very talented receivers. How did it get here? Is this on Nick? Is this on Jalen? Is this on the organization? How did we get here? That in this coming offseason, let me see if I can find this exactly here. I'm going to try to go over here, bring this up here. That, here we go. Here. Jeremy Fowler is reporting that Some league executives believe that the Eagles will be trading A.J. Brown this offseason. The Eagles made a mistake. They should have traded him during the season. People over on WIP even retweeted this, that Jeremy Fowler is reporting that team executives around the league are expecting A.J. Brown to be moved. How did you get here? How did you get to a point where you pissed off one of the best players on your football team and one of the most important players on your team? How'd you get here? Anybody? I know how you got here. And I'm going to say, I don't know if I'm against how you got here and how you pissed him off. Okay? Seals, AJ wants out because in Philly, the boardroom views all players as plug and play. They don't believe the players are the key to success. That's correct. Dan Sileo's been saying AJ Brown will be traded for literally years. We want to talk about Canes losing. No, I'm talking about AJ Brown wanting out, according to Jeremy Fowler. Most executives believe starting in a couple weeks, you'll be in the process of trading your top receiver and the best receiver you've ever had on your franchise. That's where we're going, Junior. We got here because Barkley took his touches. Okay? I believe that. We knew AJ was gone midway through the season. You did? Really? When was that? I don't remember that convo. I truly think AJ had problems with Nick and Patullo because of the offense or lack thereof. I think they had many arguments behind closed doors. Yeah, well, hey, absolutely. The offense doesn't go through Brown anymore. It goes through the run game. The worst thing for A.J. Brown's career was you won a Super Bowl. Listen to what I just said. The worst thing ever to happen to A.J. Brown's career was you won the Super Bowl with the style of play you played. It theoretically ended his production. 60 yards a game is not what that guy's looking for. When you're considered an elite wide receiver in this league, you're north of 1,500 yards. Not some dude in Arizona beating you out in yards. Winning the Super Bowl got us here. How can you win with an individual that is not excited about winning? No. You're missing the point what Kurt Warner said a couple weeks ago when he was on the program. AJ's not and doesn't want to win. AJ wants to be part of it. He doesn't feel he's part of it anymore. He doesn't feel he's the main guy. He thinks that their system has now basically ended his production in Philly. And you're just putting him out there as a decoy. He feels how many people believe that A.J. Brown feels he's a decoy? This is Jeremy Fowler, too. When was this put out? This was put out today. This was put out about an hour ago. NFL executives believe that the Eagles will be moving off of A.J. Brown. You know where they got that from? Drew Rosenhaus. And people like that, agents. Hey, you know what? I'm hearing the kid doesn't want to be here anymore. I'm hearing that, maybe you guys should take a look at Tyreek Hill, bringing him up. Rosenhaus is talking to Howie Roseman now about two dudes, Jalen Carter and Jalen Phillips. And, he represents Tyreek Hill. That's just a little insight behind the curtain there. Hey, if AJ leaves, would you have any interest in Tyreek Hill? Dolphins don't want him anymore. Sills, Jimmy said it best. All players are treated fairly, but not equally. AJ should have his, yes, that's correct. That's how Jimmy looked at it. AJ should have had his concerns addressed and not swept under the carpet. That's correct too. Okay, senor, who are you placing AJ Brown with? A draft pick? I don't give a shit about a draft pick. A draft pick. With a quarterback who could barely get the football to people other than the Y and the Z. Jalen Hurts with Devontae Smith and a dude don't frighten me anymore in the passing game. Who are you replacing A.J. Brown with, senor? A draft pick? Really? A draft pick. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and A.J. Brown. Can you imagine that? Who the Eagles have at receiver really doesn't matter. Only one receiver gets looked at per play. Fair enough. You're right. The new OC's not coming in here to improve the pass game. The new OC's coming into Philadelphia to improve the run game. I thought that was Jeff Stoutland's job. I thought that was Jeff Stoutland. Isn't he the run game coordinator? What happened in the run game? Why don't you ask Stoutland? I thought that was his gig. Who the hell, Sills, who the hell would get it if we trade AJ? Listen, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. First and foremost, how did we get here when now there's a report out there that the Eagles are going to trade him? Hey, numbnuts, we can find a receiver that gets 1K and does their job without being a bitch about it. You know what, douchebag? You haven't, outside of that guy, in 60 years. And when you had one guy, you ran him out. No one's. Don't act like you're some sort of wide receiver machine. You're not, numbnuts. M. Reyes makes it sound like you're some wide receiver machine in the history of your franchise. This is the best group of receivers you've ever had in the Super Bowl era. And he's making it sound like you've had 1,000 guys. We can get anybody in here. Like who? You've had 2 players get 100 catches. 2. And they're on the team right now. Prior to that, you've never had a wide receiver in team history get 100 catches. Ever. Don't act like you're some receiver machine and your guy knows how to pick receivers. If you really think about it, the best receivers on the team in the team history, he didn't draft them. He acquired them. The Eagles acquired Owens and AJ. Those are your best receivers? Well, you didn't draft them. Don't make it sound like you guys are sitting there some sort of savants and drafting wideouts. That's not true. You're making it like, hey, we'll just go find. Based on what? Devontae? Okay, hold on. He never had 100 yards. He never had 100 catches. Fine receiver. Fine receiver. In 60 years, 2 receivers you've drafted, Deshaun Jackson and Devontae Smith. Name me another one that you would put in that class in 60 years, let alone 25, since Howie's been in the building. Name me one. Name me one outside of those 2 guys in almost 30 years you've drafted. Go ahead. Anybody. Jeremy Maclin is a dude. He's a dude. Jeremy Maclin. Okay. I rest my case. Jeremy Maclin. Holy shit. You're kidding me. Jeremy Maclin is where you're going, that you really believe that Jeremy Maclin is in the category of A.J. Brown and T.O. Really? 1,000 yards. He had 2 1,000-yard seasons in 8 years. And in 5 years in Philly, he had one season where he went for 1,300 yards. That's not a great career. He was a dude. A dude. Todd Pinkston, another dude. Maclin was a beast. No, he wasn't. Philadelphia has always been known for tight ends. Hold on here. Jeffries, you drafted Alshon Jeffries? Maclin had 7K. Maclin had 1,000-yard season in Philly. 1. Oh, my God. Jason Avant, Jeremy Maclin. Are you telling me you think that's A.J. Brown? And Devontae Smith? Do you really believe that they're in the category of Devontae and Deshaun Jackson? Some of you people look at your guys, they're not that good. No, wait a minute. I'll take that back. They're not that elite. Those guys aren't elite players. They were not elite players. They were very good players. Deshaun Jackson was an elite guy. Yeah, Alshon Jeffries was a Chicago guy. They didn't draft him. They acquired him. All the great receivers you've ever had, you've acquired. You never really, I mean, it's not known for a passing team. It was never known for a passing organization. Okay? Sill's trying, why? By saying the truth? Annoying? Do you really believe that Jeremy Maclin was in the category of Deshaun Jackson? Are you crazy? McNabb, the best Eagle quarterback ever by far, dumbasses, by far. Talent-wise, sure. Yes. Congratulations to Indiana on winning the national title. I missed your super? We'll get it, I promise. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. We'll get to all that. By the way, Angelo Cataldi will be with us at 3:30. So how did we get here with AJ? How did we get here? He's gone. AJ Brown doesn't want to be an Eagle anymore. How'd you get here? And who are you replacing him with? And now, doesn't that also, okay? Sileo earlier this season said Smitty's your number one. He is. He is your number one. I didn't say he was a number one. AJ doesn't understand if he's traded. He's going to a team with high picks. He ain't going to New England. Send him to the Raiders. Okay? I think he wouldn't mind going to the Raiders and Tom Brady. This guy wants numbers. He's not looking for trophies anymore. He's not going to New England. You're right. I'm not sending him to New England. I'm getting low draft picks in each round. You're right. Now, unless they give me multiple picks and give me high draft picks for him, we'll have a conversation. But teams that are like with great records, I'm not trading him to. Now, maybe that's going to be part of the agreement on a restructure. Hey, listen, I'll restructure my contract, but don't send me to the Jets. You restructure the contract, then you could trade the guy. There's all kinds of ways of making this happen. You're going to be a lesser team in 2026. That's my prediction on January 20th. You will be a lesser team. There's no way. I'm telling you, by the way, I don't want him gone. Okay? I happen to respect Jeremy Fowler a lot. And if they're saying that teams are talking now, they're just getting ready for March 17th when they can actually make a trade with the Eagles and the season starts. I think the official season for the NFL starts March 12th. How many days is that? And I'll make another prediction to you here in a minute. If AJ is traded, would they re-sign Dotson? What do you think that they could get for AJ? I don't know yet. Maybe a 2, a second-round pick, and a later pick. Seals, with AJ being traded, does that change who we go after in the draft? No. What? Absolutely true. Okay? Absolutely true. If you move him, you most likely are going to go get a wide receiver, Kyle. New England was a top 5 pick in 2025, and there were rumors of him getting sent there last season. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Long time coming. Hang on. That was when they were coming off of 4 wins. You go into this April draft, that football team's a second-ranked team in the AFC. That's you were trading him to New England because New England was a 4-win football team. And you were going to be premium picks in every round. That's not the case anymore with New England. So I can't believe we are willing to trade. I didn't say that. And that's not what Fowler's saying. I'm starting to believe that A.J. Brown has demanded a trade behind the scenes. You're now getting a guy that is now putting that out there. And you're now saying that executives are expecting him to be moved. Instead of focusing on the real issue, a limited quarterback. Okay. So I'm going to show you something here, and this is when I think he'll be moved. How many days until March 12th? Okay. 50 days, he'll be moved. This guy's got 4 weeks left as an Eagle. I'll say 6 weeks. He's got 6 weeks left as an Eagle, and he'll be dealt. I mean, I don't know how you're going to go into 26 and you're going to call yourself a better team. Now, depending who you replace him with, a draft pick, you're a lesser team. If you replace him in the April draft in the first round, and by the way, that blows how he's playing up. You know what's funny? So last year, you gave me a plan that the reason that they went Temu was because they were getting ready to pay Jalen Carter. I don't think they're paying Jalen Carter. I think they're punting for the 5th-year option to give them more time to figure out Lane and AJ. And to some extent, Hurts. Jalen Phillips is in that conversation as well. They're going to punt on Carter. You know why? They can. They're going to punt on him. And that's not going to be what Rosenhaus wants. But Rosenhaus is going to have to eat that. You know why? They've got the control of the player. Plus, they've got 2 franchise tag years if they felt like it. So Jalen Carter's got to sit there and shut the hell up and go play football and be a decent human. He's got nothing. He's got no leverage. Now, he don't want to play? Now you know his character then. They don't have to do anything. Like last year, they didn't have to do anything with Barkley. They really don't have to do anything. I think they've got to deal with Jalen Phillips, A.J. Brown, and what's going on with Lane. Those are your big deals. And it's going to determine who your OC is, and it's also going to determine what you do in April. I mean, you got 89 days to the draft. You got 50 days until free agency starts, when the league season starts. You basically have a month to figure out what you're going to do with the number 1 pick, what you're going to do with AJ, and if Lane's coming back. Does that mean I'm going to pick an O-lineman, or does that mean I'm going to go get a wideout? Why is drafting a wideout better? Anybody? This Fowler report kind of dictates a lot what you're going to do in your OC, your draft, and free agency. Okay, so why is it maybe the best way is to draft a wideout in the first round? Why? I'm not signing George Pickens. I'd have no interest in signing George Pickens. There you go. Years. Rookie contract. Control. Correct. Let me go get the kid Lemon from USC. Maybe I get that kid from Ohio State. I'm able to land that kid. Put him on the other side of Devontae. Got him on a rookie deal. Maybe I hedge my bets and wait and go, let me sign a veteran guy, not a top tier guy. Let me get, depending on who that guy is, what do they pick, 23? Maybe there's an old lineman down there. How about if you don't sign Jalen Phillips? What are you doing? Drafting an edge? There's a lot to go into the Eagles offseason here. And a lot of it's got to do with who you're going to hire at OC. Don't you agree? Hey, here, I had a third topic. We'll do it now. Doesn't the next OC dictate whether or not A.J. Brown's going to be here or not? Doesn't it? If you get a guy in here that's got notions of coming in and improving the run game, A.J. Brown's gone. He's gone. Sills, if we can land Concepcion from A&M, he could be and he could be very much like a Puka Nacua addition to our offense. Puka Nacua is so good in space, so good at contact, so good with physicality. He's the best wide receiver in the NFL. I believe they got that dude in the 5th round too, Reyes. I do. That kid is a great player too. The kid from A&M. I was going to ask you that, Sills. Does the right guy change AJ's mind? Yes. You bring in Mike McDaniel into the Eagles huddle, and you have him as your OC. That completely changes the dynamic. Absolutely true. Now, I want to give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes. How many people in here know who Chris Spielman is? You guys know who Chris Spielman is? Anybody? Anybody know who Chris Spielman is? We've actually had, I believe, Chris Spielman on the program. Okay, anybody? Not former Lions linebacker. Yes, I played with him. And he works in the front office with the Detroit Lions and with Brad Holmes. One of the truly great players of all time. Just a great, 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 great friend. Okay. So what if I told you this? Kyle, do me a favor. Type in that guy's name that the Lions hired as OC. Type that guy's name in. What was it? Petzing? They just got the guy from Arizona. So here's what I was told. So he went up for an interview. And Mike McDaniel went up for an interview with the Lions, Brad Holmes, and with Dan Campbell. After the interview, I asked Chris Spielman, hey, the Eagles are looking at that guy. What'd you make of him up there? What's the word up there on Mike McDaniel? He goes like this. Well, it didn't go very well. I was like, what do you mean it didn't go very well? Chris said, yeah, it just didn't go well. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, he wanted to bring in his own assistant coaches. He wanted to spread the ball more. He wanted to hire a new O-line coach. He wanted to bring in a wide receiver coach. And he just wanted to change the playbook. Dan Campbell went, wait, what? No. And he goes, well, either I'm running my playbook or your playbook. And Dan Campbell said, I thought we'd mesh the two. Mike McDaniel said, I'm not meshing anything if you want me to come in here and if you want me to change and help your offense. Dan Campbell got up and walked out of the room. That's what I'm being told. And that interview went completely down the drain. I asked Armando Salguero this morning if that was true. And he went, it's what I'm hearing. Dan Campbell got up in the middle of the interview and left. Said, yeah, no. We're not firing assistant coaches here. And then Mike McDaniel said, well, then you're not looking to improve your offense. Or at least with my playbook. He had just come out of an interview with the Ravens, Mike McDaniel, to be the head football coach. The Buccaneers have agreed to all that stuff. New O-line coach, new wide receiver coach. Here's the thing, though. Mike Evans is pissed off because the wide receiver coach down there and him have become tight. Glazer said this to Mike Evans. Who says you're coming back? Remember something. They moved off of Derek Brooks. They moved off of Warren Sapp. They moved off of Rondé Barber. They moved off of John Lynch. There's no given that the Glazers are going to give $22 million to a one-year guy just so he can come back and have a rocking chair tour and go, see you later, everyone. That's not how they work. They fired Tony Dungy. They fired John Gruden. They're not loyal to anybody but winning. So they're going to make him the highest paid OC in the league in Tampa if he takes that job. Now, reportedly, the interview with the Eagles, that hasn't happened yet. And I think the Eagles look at him like the interview with Cliff Kingsbury a year ago. This is basically what it's going to be. You know, one of the coolest things that I get a chance to do is like when I'm booking guests, and I book for our show here, the Tampa Morning Show, and then the weekend show that I have on Sports Grid. So I'm 7 days booking. I start asking questions. Hey, what happened to Mike McDaniel up in Detroit? Chris is like, it went terrible. Dan Campbell got up and walked out because he wanted to make some drastic changes. And he wanted to make changes to Dan Campbell's coaching staff. Dan Campbell said, no. That's not happening. And then Mike McDaniel said, well, I'm running your playbook then. So that's what you're going to be fighting if you interview the dude and you think Mike McDaniel's going to come in and go, well, hey, yeah, sure, I'll take your guys. That's not how it's going to roll. Places like Detroit and Philly, those are tough jobs because you've got to go into an environment that's already has some winning. When you go into a place that hasn't had winning, like Cleveland, like Mike McDaniel looks at the Tennessee job and the Cleveland job and the Arizona job, and you know what he says? Those are always going to be there. The Buffalo gig, the Pittsburgh gig, the Baltimore gig, the Bucks gig, and the Eagle gig, those are the best one because there's winning. Well, there's more parameters on what you have to work within when you go to places like those places versus going to Arizona. Don't you see it? Arizona every 2 years is looking for a new coach, a new OC. Every 2 years, those guys are back in the coaching search. Seals, all our coaches can go except Jeff Stoutland. That's one of the main guys that they want gone. Well, let me ask you, Khalid. So Your run game was not very good this year. Jeff Stoutland's the run coordinator, is he not? Is he not? Is he not the run coordinator? Last I checked, when I looked on the roster, Jeff Stoutland's the run coordinator. And for me, okay, look, I agree. Stoutland, Callahan, the guy in Detroit is a pretty good old line coach. There's about 6 of them in the league right now that are really good offensive line coaches. Now, see, look, McDaniel to the Browns or Bucks. He doesn't want to coach Shedeur Sanders. That's not the future. That's not. The Browns have no future. They have no present. The Bucks have a present with Mayfield. Seals, how do you know they want Stout gone? No. I didn't say. I'm talking about Mike McDaniel went into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers front office and said, I want to bring all of my own assistant coaches in as one of my priorities. Is that cool? Yes. That means O-line coach. Detroit said no. Baltimore is a different type of hire. He's talking about being a head coach. He's going to get his own coaches anyway if it's a head coaching search. You're going to be able to hire whoever you want defensively and offensively. When you're an OC, you're pivoted to only one side of the ball, right? I can't talk about the defense. I'm an OC. Right? Sills, would you consider the Eagles? This is a great question. Sills, would you consider the Eagles a loyal organization player-wise as of 25-26? No way. They are a front office loyal organization, which means the front office guys, they're loyal to. Head coaches and players, they have no loyalty to. Well, they've got loyalty to Nick because Nick plays along with the front office, as John McMullen wrote. Okay? He knows how to play the politics. That's today's NFL head coach. McDaniel to Buffalo. And wait, now here. McDaniel with Josh Allen. They don't have the personnel for that offense. Who's your receivers? Remember who Mike McDaniel had as his receivers in Miami. He had Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. They don't have those guys in Buffalo. Buffalo would have to go into the draft and get an A.J. Brown. Here's something to think about. Wherever Mike McDaniel goes as OC, if Mike McDaniel did go to Buffalo, I could see A.J. Brown being traded there to somebody like Buffalo. You're not going to sign an offensive coordinator like Mike McDaniel and have the assets that you have in Buffalo and think you're going to spread the ball around. You're just not. You know what? It's funny, like teaming up and showing you guys how these assistant coaches are hired. This is all about these guys being paired up with the right organization. You can have a great playbook. You could be a savant in how you look at the game. But if you don't have the assets to apply that offensive game plan, what's the point of bringing it in? Like if I have a spread offense and I'm going to Philly, why? You're looking to improve the run game. You're not looking to improve the pass game. The pass game has been irrelevant for you for 4 years, no? Isn't that fair to say? You're not looking to improve the pass game. You haven't in 5 years. You're looking for a guy to improve the run game. So when you're talking about Brian Daboll or Mike McDaniel, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Improve the pass game? Why? You've won a Super Bowl when you were the 28th worst passing attack. You were 25th this year, and you won 11 games. I mean, what's the point in improving the passing game? Bullshit. Bullshit, Sills. Eagles are too loyal to these camp body players. That's why Sidney Brown, Ringo, and Quez Watkins are still here. You're missing that point. Wait a minute. Why do you think they're loyal? How he drafted Sidney Brown. How he drafted Ringo. Anybody that Howie Roseman drafts, he's going to be loyal to. Why? Those are the front office guys that evaluated him. That's why moving off of a trade or a free agent, it's easier for him than to move off of the draft. If Howie Roseman, I've never seen an organization do this either. If you're drafted in the 7th round or you're drafted in the 1st round, you're making the Philadelphia Eagles. Years past, if you were drafted anything from round 4 down, there was a great chance you weren't making the team. In Philly, you could be the 17th. Now there's more guys because of a practice squad, and you could keep 70 dudes, 53 active, so you're able to do that more. But how many times has Howie Roseman, all of his draft picks make the team? They're not all good, and they're not all home runs. But because they drafted them, they're going to get multiple looks. That's how he operates. He's more loyal to the people he drafts than you think. Sills, would you consider trading down, getting the wide receiver from Louisville, plus you get your O-lineman? I think it's going to dictate on what they do with Brown here. Again, Jeremy Fowler is the one that put that out, that multiple executives are saying that the Eagles are going to move off of A.J. Brown. Yeah. I have to say that a recent development, Sills, we have a 3-year limit, and if they don't hit, they got to go. Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at it, Reyes, look at the draft picks over the last couple of years. Like the 7th rounder makes the team. And that's where you're looking at with these O-linemen that you guys have drafted in 5, 6, and 7 over the last couple of years. These guys have contributed nothing to the team. Look at a recent O-lineman you drafted. Outside of Tyler Steen and Cam Jurgens, who looks like a short timer in the league. Cam Jurgens looks like a short timer. That's what we call him. He's a short timer. Hit the like button, guys. I appreciate it. Okay? I mean, he's a short timer, which means not a long career. Cam Jurgens, if he plays like this next year, he'll be fired. And he would have played, what, 4 years and given a contract extension that theoretically they should have waited on, especially coming off of back surgery. Sills, name one OC candidate that will be willing to come in and run our limited quarterback base playbook. Again, profile. I tried to do this yesterday, and I got away from it with Xander. Ask yourself this. Here's the profile that they're looking for. Has to work with Nick and his philosophy. What's Nick Sirianni's offensive philosophy? Don't turn the ball over. Starts there, number one. Not spreading the ball out. Don't turn the ball over. Low-risk passes. And improve the run game. Maybe that's number one. Nowhere in there is it say, improve our pass route concepts. Throwing across the middle of the field. Improving the quarterback's vision on how he can read defenses. Improving the quarterback and setting pass protection. All of that, first and foremost, can you work with Nick and his way of thinking? You guys are looking at the name and not the style of guy. Once you figure out the style and the guy and who can work with him, then you'll figure the name's the last thing to look at. Here, when you're looking, this is how Jimmy Johnson and great draft evaluators put people in a meat grinder. Is he committed to the game? Is he have a love for the game? If I'm already talking about you, you're already gifted. Does he love it? Is he a workaholic? Has he got great football IQ? And then Jimmy looks at those three, and then a personnel guy back in the day by the name of Bob Ackles would come in with 20 dudes. And then Jimmy would watch the guy, and he would sit with his assistant coaches, and he would watch. And Jimmy used to call it the 20-foot rule. All I needed to see is 20 feet of film, and I'll know if he's my guy. The 20-foot rule. 20 feet of film. 20 feet of film. That's my guy. That guy right there is my guy. Jason Taylor. That's my guy. Emmitt Smith. That's my guy. Larry Allen. That's my guy. And then he would put you in the value chart. You know, they drafted Larry Allen in the 12th round when there were 12 rounds. 12 rounds. Jimmy goes, I don't have to take him. He'll be the best value pick in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. He turned out to be the best pick in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. The best pick of all time is Larry Allen. 12th rounder. The best guard in football history. Turned out to be a 12th round draft pick. Okay. I mean, that's value, my friends. That's how you pick. The name on the back of the jersey is irrelevant. Who fits the profile? What kind of OC do you want in the room? Seals, any opinion on Christian Parker possibly becoming the new DC in Dallas? Word is he's one of the finalists for the job. Christian Parker is a heck of a talent. I think Bobby King is. I think Clint Hurtt is. I'm surprised a year ago more people weren't taken off your defensive staff. I think you have the best defensive staff in football. Okay? Get this. Parker is a big enough name for Dallas. Dallas should get away from names and get to who's good for their team. My feeling is Howie will hire someone that needs the job, like a Bobby Slowick or a Josh Grizzard, to revamp the careers, plus some inside info about the Bucs. Josh Grizzard was a scapegoat because of injuries that happened on the Buccaneers, is what I was told. The problem that I didn't like about the firing of Josh Grizzard was Josh Grizzard was blamed because he couldn't move the offense. Todd Bowles got the benefit of the doubt that the team was injured all year. The OC didn't. So he was a scapegoat for the 8-9 record. I didn't think Grizzard was all that bad, but there were times when he got away from the run game. Josh Grizzard wasn't really like centric on the run game. He would, like, in games, get away from it. I don't think Josh Grizzard would be a good fit, because especially if Nick is trying to improve the run game, Grizzard got away from it. Even in the exit, Todd Bowles said this: he learned things here that he'll take to his next job. Which means this: there were times they ran the ball 11 times in the first half. Second half, they just got away. Same thing as Kevin Patullo. To me, I think Kevin Patullo and Josh Grizzard are the same guy. So if the Eagles hire Josh Grizzard, I think that's Kevin Patullo disguised. I think he's the same guy. I think they look like the same dude. I don't think that that's the right guy to go to. Now you guys are talking about Brian Dable. Okay, Brian Dable's going to improve the run game. And if Brian Dable gets hired, he's going to improve the quarterback's running more. Does Jalen want to run? You know why Brian Dable won't get that job? Because Hurts doesn't want to run. Josh Allen ran. Jackson Dart ran. Now, if Brian Dable gets that job as OC and not the head coaching job in Buffalo, Hurts wants to run. Hurts wants to run. Okay? All right? Let me put this here. Let's see here. What can we go? We're gonna have Krause in here in a second here. All right. Guys, do me a favor. Don't forget, we're going to have Angelo Cataldi at the bottom of the hour here. We're going to get more into the topics here. And again, hopefully, listen, I'm not saying that any candidate out there is not going to help the team. I'm telling you, finding the right guy. And now with this report about A.J. Brown, according to Jeremy Fowler, with executives saying that this dude wants out, that changes the entire landscape because the next OC might determine whether or not this is the guy who they want to still go forward with A.J. Brown. If you hire a run guy, why would A.J. want to stay? All right. Angelo Cataldi will be with us at the bottom of the hour. Big Z will be with us at 4:30. All right. So, hey, every time we get – my aunt watched that thing the whole year long, The Green Room, with Big Joe. And I love it too. By the way, I got to tell you guys, Big Joe allowed me to do work with Sports Grid because if it didn't go down that way, I wouldn't have. And I appreciate him doing that. He's texting me over the week, and I'm like, there were so much things going behind the scenes, but we're so privileged that he was able to let us do that for Saturday and Sunday. So we got that going on. So we'll make sure again, too, that you guys know that, but they're going to be promoting also the JAKIB show on Saturday and Sunday. They're going to put a box underneath so that I don't forget at the end of the program on Saturday and Sunday. Because, you know, Big Sills with CT. Joe's like, where are we going? What are you doing? What are you doing? All right. Without further ado, my friend, he is going to give you another tremendous opportunity at having fun at sporting events. This is what we do here. We give you an opportunity to have a bunch of fun, great content. Here he is, our friend Joe Krause. He joins us now here. How you doing, bro?
Hey, Big Sills, how are you, brother?
All good. Hey, I can't tell you how much on Saturday and Sunday I'm like, you did it again. And I'm going like, oh, my God. I did, folks. Joe's like, all good, Sills. I got your back. We're good and all this and that. Hey, man, but I wanted to thank you, dude, for, like, allowing us to do that because, you know, we're able to do that now on Saturday and Sunday and plus promote what we're doing here. We appreciate that very much.
Big Sills, I've shared this with you privately, and I'll share it with you publicly here on the National Football Show. I am so proud of your entrance back into the national landscape. You're one hell of a sports talker. You're a good guy, but more importantly than that, you've earned the right for that opportunity. And now just because you're working 7 days a week doesn't mean you're outworking me, my friend.
Not a chance in hell. And we always like to bring things to our viewers here. So, Joe, you've got something special lined up for these guys on what they can maybe get an opportunity to bring them and their family or their friends.
You remember last year we did our year one of our partnership with Savvy Seats, and as part of that partnership, and I came onto the National Football Show, and we rolled out that partnership, and within 48 hours, boom, that was completely capitalized. Remember, we had people in Kansas City. We had people in Green Bay. We had people attend every single game last year on the schedule because of our partnership with Savvy Seats. And we didn't get to the possibility of giving away Super Bowl tickets this year because the Eagles shit the bed and didn't get there. But that doesn't mean that our partnership with Savvy Seats is over. Our 2026 partnership with Savvy, I want everyone to pay attention to the details. It's dynamic, Dan. It will be sold out before your show is over, I assume, or before tomorrow. But year two of our partnership zeroes in on the 2026 schedule. So home games, let me just go through it. Just buy me a minute or two of your time. So home games for 2026, the dates have not been outlined yet. Rams, Seahawks, Texans, Colts, Panthers, Steelers, and then, of course, the NFC East, the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Giants on the road in 2026.
Amazing schedule.
Amazing schedule. On the road, Arizona, Jacksonville, the Titans, the 49ers, the Chicago Bears, the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Giants. So 9 games at home in 26, 8 on the road. Here's what we're going to do, and at some point I'll ask Xander to put the scroll up for me. We're going to send, we've created a partnership with Savvy Seats this year that will provide 2 tickets for 5 games on the schedule for each individual. Not 2 tickets for 5 games. So each individual will get 10 tickets over the course of the season. Now, listen to this, John. Listen to this, Dan. This is amazing. So one of our partners one of our members of JAKIB Nation who went to the Washington game last year has already signed up for the promotion because we rolled it out to those who were involved with us last year, right? So big shout out to Joshua Herman. He joined me on the Green Zone from down at the stadium. He's already on board. His 5-pack is Dallas, Washington, the Colts, the Steelers, and Seattle. So you pick your 5-pack out of the schedule. Now you text me at 267-261-3428. I want year 2. I'll send you all of the details, but I'm telling you, Dan, don't sleep on this.
No.
It will go. You're not going to believe the actual cost of what it would be. Well, let me ask you this. 5 games. I'm going to give you 5 games on the schedule. You take 5 games, I'm going to give you 2 seats for each one of those 5 games. I'm going to give you 10 tickets. You tell me.
That's $800 for 2 tickets already.
Right. Times.
Right. Times 5.
Times 5. So you're looking at $4,000. Are you ready for this, Dan? 5 games for JAKIB Nation. $1,250 total.
Okay. Wow, you're saving around $3,500.
This is a thank you to JAKIB Nation for being with us for this period, for continuing to support. And when you think
you'll never find that kind of deal anywhere.
Ever. You never will. And the beauty of it is, what I love most about it is the experiences that are created at the games.
Correct.
Are incredible. Savvy Seats provides great seats. These aren't standing room only seats at the stadium. These are good seats. These are great seats for the experience, and it's our way of just a small gesture of saying thank you to JAKIB Nation. But you picked the 5-pack, and
Joe, I just looked up 2 tickets, average price in Dallas is $450.
Yeah.
For 2 tickets, okay?
By the way,
that's $900 just for 2 tickets.
By the way, we had 3 members of JAKIB Nation in Dallas this past year for the game. So if your audience isn't in Philadelphia, and let's say you're out in the West Coast, out in your neighborhood, probably a strange neighborhood, but they're out in your neighborhood, right? and they want to go to the Niners game. Boom. And here's the other beauty, Dan.
That's $500 a piece.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This is an opportunity for JAKIB Nation to exploit JAKIB Sports, and we want you to do it as an appreciation for everything that you've done, meaning JAKIB Nation. But you picked a 5-pack, Dan. What 5 games are you going to?
I'm probably going to do the Bear one. I'll do the Cowboy one. I'll do the Giant one. Is the Pittsburgh game? Is that
Pittsburgh, yeah, Pittsburgh game is in Philly.
I'll take that one.
Right.
I'll do that. I can do home and away, right?
You can do whatever. Yeah, you can mix it up. You can do whatever
and I'll
you want.
do the Ram game.
All right. So the Rams are in Philly. The Steelers obviously or the Steelers will be in Philadelphia. Dallas obviously will be both home and.
I want to go to the Dallas game in Dallas.
All right. So Dallas there. And then on the road.
The Giants in New York.
Yep. You'll see your buddy Tom Harbaugh. Yeah, absolutely. And the Bears.
And the Bears.
Now, the dates for the games have not been released yet. The schedule release has not come out. But we know who the teams are. You pick your 5-pack. And I'm telling you, text me and jump on board. Share it with your buddy if you want. It's $1,250. You're going to 5 games. And you're going to be in great seats. You're going to join me on the Green Zone during the season, which, by the way, I don't know if anybody actually enjoyed the Green Zone.
My aunt watched it.
Other than your aunt, which I appreciate very much. I don't even know if Xander enjoyed the Green Zone. As a matter of fact, the Green Zone may have been a pain in the ass to Xander. But I got to tell you, I absolutely loved doing it. There's the scroll, 267-261-3428. Text me, I want year 2. I'll send you the details. This is one of those moments where if you snooze, you'll miss out. And that's okay too. I get it. But if you want to take advantage of it, 5 in the rack for 2026, Big Sills. And listen, I'm going to bastardize your show again. I'll be back around 5 o'clock to hit the night crowd if there's anything left. All right, brother. But I appreciate it, man. Big Sills. I'm sorry your Canes got caught up.
Great effort last night, though. Hey, great effort last night. I mean, hey Joe, real quick before you leave, then what'd you make of the early exit by the Eagles? I mean, what was your takeaway that they got bounced like that by that Niner team?
Well, I said it on the Green Zone. The moment that convinced me it was over, deep in the game, and it was parallel to why the season played out the way it was. On the 4th down timeout, on the 4th down call.
4th and 11.
Jalen, Nick, and Patullo were standing there discussing the play. And Fox never took the camera off them.
Yeah.
And Dan, I'm telling you, they all came away. I said it on the Green Zone. Does anybody know what the play is and who called it?
Like the Three Stooges.
I couldn't believe it. Here's what I did learn from watching some of the games during the division round. Your quarterback does not have to be great if your defense can win it for you. And that might not be true during the regular season, but when you get into the post I think that is true. So if the defense can win it for Jalen, then Jalen can be what he is, and they can still have great success. Whether or not that happens now, there's so much in flux, I don't know.
Defense travels, Joe.
Yeah, it does.
Defense, I mean, look at that Texans game. With all the mistakes that Stroud made, they were still in it because the defense was so good. Look at Seattle. Darnold wasn't spectacular in that game, like 130 yards passing. Or the defense in the run game were so good. I mean, the Rams played great defense, really, against the Bears in that game in Chicago in the weather. So I'm with you, dude. Sam Darnold may win a Super Bowl, Joe. I mean, he may be hoisting a Super Bowl. And as I tell Jet fans, you had Joe Namath 2.0 and you didn't know it. And maybe this guy's going to be hoisting the Super Bowl. No one would consider that guy elite, right? You don't have to have an elite guy. You just have to have a guy who doesn't turn the football over like Josh Allen did in Denver. You don't turn the ball over, you're gonna continue on in the playoffs.
Well, Sam Darnold might be a Super Bowl champion when he comes to Lincoln Financial Field next year because the Seahawks are coming to Philly. Man. So it's but really,
I may want that game too. Then I may want that game, right?
The Rams, the Seahawks, the Texans, the Colts, the Panthers, the Steelers, the Cowboys, Washington, and the Giants. That's a great 9-pack. You pick your 5-rack, Big Stills. Text me at 267-261-3428. And a shout out to Savvy Seats. Boy, they get it done, and they get it done the right way. They're not a bot. You're not buying from a computer. They're not AI generated. The owner of that show is as real as you. He also has Italian lineage, so
as you do.
He's a good dude. But look forward to it, Sills. I'm coming back at 5:00 or somewhere in that area, brother, just to give you an update.
Got you, Dan. I appreciate you, Joe. We'll talk to you later on, brother.
All right, Danny. Take care, brother.
You got it, Joe Krause. We'll get him on later on, too, for Savvy Seats. Hey, look, man, this is a great opportunity. Ticket prices are so expensive today. I had people asking me for that Canes game tickets. I'm like, yeah, no. Listen, I would have to be making $2 million a year to be buying those kind of seats. All right, hit the like button, guys. We'll reset back in here. We got a ton of topics still. And by the way, bottom of the hour, Angelo Cataldi, and then Big Z's going to join us at 4:30. All right, so let's get off of AJ for a minute. What version of Jalen Hurts are we going to see in 2026? What version do you think you're going to see of Jalen Hurts? Better? Worse? The same? What are we going to see? I'll give you my takeaway. I don't think you're going to see anything different. I don't think it's going to be any different. I think what you've seen the last couple of years, he's going to run less. And they're going to try to improve him from the pocket. And they're going to get a running back. Either it's going to be Barkley. He's going to go back to being at least a 1,300-yard back. Not have all those minus plays. The O-line's going to improve. Hurts not going to be anything different than what he is now. Now, you may think differently. What version do you believe you'll see? The same, Sills. Better fix the run game. Amen. Amen. Sue, he don't want to run. James, he doesn't want to run. Where's this guy? Elite Hurts, baby. The 23rd running attack and the 25th rushing attack. He's not elite. No run Hurts will expose Nick and get him fired. I'll be tuning into whatever game looks the most intriguing until Draymond Hurts era finally finish. Draymond Hurts? What do you mean? Because he doesn't have a shot? Damn. If they hire a bozo, it will be the worst experience. Big Fish, I say better. Better coaching, better results. You surround your players with good coaches, and you get the most out of them. Completely agree. Saquon Barkley's never going to touch 1,500 yards again in his career. He's touched it one time. Let me double check that. How many times has he gone over 1,300 yards in his career, Saquon Barkley? You guys are under some sort of like a delusion that this dude had some sort of like Derrick Henry career where he was running the ball for 1,500 plus yards. Let's see. He went over 1,300. 1, 2, 3 in 9 years. 8 years. 8 years of play. He's gone over 1,000 yards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And in those other years, 34 yards. Here, he was injured in 2020. He was injured in 21. He was shut down at the end in 23. 3 times in 6 years. He had some type of injury that he was dealing with. And how old is he now? He's 28. When will he be 29? Saquon Barkley. When will Barkley be 29? I hope it's not the start of the season. Saquon Barkley's going to be 29 February 9th to start the season. This guy's almost 30. And you think your run game's going to improve? Who do you think he's, Derrick Henry? If you don't support the Eagles, you don't support Hurts. Sorry? What kind of whacked? That's how you do that? You think if you don't support the Eagles, you don't support Hurts. And you think if you support the Eagles, you have to support Hurts? If you don't support dual threat quarterbacks, you're racist. Plain and simple. Man, are you a weird dude, guy? Sills, if they evolved their philosophy to account for more passing yards, what amount of interceptions would you be okay with from Jalen? Okay? It's a great question. That's a great question. So here, let me go down here and I'll show you. Okay. So let's go to 2025 regular season. Matthew Stafford threw the ball. Stafford's not fair. Let's go to Caleb. Caleb Williams threw the ball 568 times. And he had 7 picks. That's a great number. Bo Nix threw the ball 612 times. And he had 11 picks. Josh Allen had 460. And Josh had 10 picks. Somebody more kind of like, here's Jalen. Jalen had 454 attempts and 6 picks. If you want to up that to 500, 550, here are the guys with the biggest attempts. Bo Nix had 612 with 11. Dak had 600 attempts with 10. Stafford at 600 with 8. Trevor Lawrence had 560 with 12. I think anywhere between 10 and 12, if you're going to throw the ball anywhere between 550 and 600, I think that's acceptable. 600 attempts. The year he had, the 1 year that you guys won the Super Bowl last year, he threw the ball 361 times. There were guys that threw the ball 650 times. And if you throw the ball 650 and you have 14 turnovers, that kind of is the same. That's kind of the same ratio. You're hoping to get 2-1. You know, when you're Rodgers and you're 3-1, that's like insane. When you're 3-1. I support a winning organization. We don't let outsiders tell us how to run our franchise. We don't start changing the whole team because an outsider says. An outsider? You're the outsider as far as I'm concerned when it comes to NFL football. You're the outsiders. I've been in the buildings. I've been at the meetings. You're an outsider. And I like you coming in. Okay? So I got to tell you, last week, Angelo was on fire. I've got the blog here too. By the way, here are the headlines on AngeloCataldi.com. Apology to Kevin Patullo? Not a chance. Not a chance. I started reading some of it, and he texts me. He goes, "Ugh," and I'm going to keep that between me and him. But boy, I got to tell you, man, you make sure you fire Kevin Patullo. You know what he is? Have you ever played chess? I think Angelo, because he's in retirement now, he's probably a chess and checkers player, you know, now. Probably maybe a little shuffleboard. So he's probably like doing this now, going, and he picks up his pawn and he goes, Kevin Patullo. It's a pawn for Nick's incompetence. That's what it is. Without further ado, I can't wait to hear this and what his takeaway is with the firing of Kevin Patullo. Who the next guy's going to be, does it even matter, really? Because if Nick Sirianni is in charge of it, I mean, does it really matter? Our friend Angelo Cataldi, who joins us now here on the program. Angelo, how you doing, brother?
I'm great, Dan. How are you today, buddy?
I'm doing phenomenal here. All right, Angelo. The news broke. Angelo wanted to get a full week of watching these guys and these turtles walk around Philadelphia, giving me what the whole Kevin Patullo thing was. What's your takeaway when they blew him out, where we are now?
Full disclosure. All right, Dan. And this is something I learned in 33 years of working in sports radio in Philadelphia. It's the hardest position to be in when you're a talk show host and you strongly advocate for someone to lose their job. And then they do. So the day after I came on with you last week, you invited me back on for a few minutes to talk about the fact that the Bobo got fired. and I went, I can't do it. And the reason I can't is I was never able to get the right tone for dancing on graves. You know, like when you ask yourself, oh, I want this guy to get fired. And then he does. Well, if you laugh, you're a jerk because somebody lost their job. Right. Although I suspect he's going to find a soft place to land somewhere in the Eagles organization. They still get. I
haven't heard, Angelo, that they threw him out of the building yet.
They did it. I think they had that broom closet for Howie Roseman about 5-6. I think that they hadn't had anybody in there. Maybe Patullo goes in the broom closet. But the bottom line is it's very rare something is that obvious that it has to happen, right? What prompted what I wrote this week was an absolutely outrageous column written by somebody that no one in Philadelphia ever talks about because he doesn't write provocative stuff. His name is David Murphy. And the fact is, there was a David Murphy in Philadelphia. He was a very popular weatherman. And whenever David Murphy's name came up, you didn't even think of this columnist. You thought of the guy who said there's a cold front coming through. Right? And all of a sudden, this guy comes out with a column right after, like even before they fired Patullo, and he basically said, if I had the chance, I don't know him personally, but if I had the chance, I would like to go up to Kevin Patullo and apologize on behalf of the entire city for how rudely they treated him. And all I could think is, there are millions of people in Philadelphia in a state of mourning for a team that they all know is the most talented in the NFL. It was eliminated for one reason, and that was they didn't have anybody who knew how to call plays. They had no offensive schemes to in any way take advantage of all the great talent they had on offense, and they lost. They scored 19 points against the carcass of a football team, the Niners, who immediately gave up 41 to Sam Darnold. Give me a break, would you please? 41 is Sam freaking Darnold. So the bomb, anyway, to get to it. So I just went nuts. And I actually said in this thing I wrote that it's probably the first time I really wanted to come out of retirement just to attack the guy by name. See, a lot of people in our business like to attack people, but they don't say who it is. A prominent I never did that. I embrace the concept that I will name your name and they will name mine. Don't get me wrong. I took plenty of heat on the other end of it, justifiably most of the time. But the fact is, you're apologizing for what? For that debacle we just endured with all that talent, all those people underachieving in the same year offensively because you had a guy who didn't know what he was doing. Now I'm going to apologize to him? No. And there's one other thing that's going on here, Dan, that's getting under my skin. And it's that the teams now, these lemmings that cover the teams, these soft media, they allow now the teams to establish the narrative after a season ends like this. So, Sirianni comes out with his usual babble. It's not one thing and it's not one person. It's a lot of people and it starts with me. And then they roll in Howie a couple of days later and he's giving you the same crap. All right. No, it was one person. All that other crap happened because you put somebody in place who didn't know what he was doing. And all the ripple effects, the A.J. Brown stuff, and Jalen Hurts having a bad year, and all the problems on the sideline, all happened because that guy couldn't call a friggin' play. And I just thought it was so perfect that the final play, I'm going to lock in on that for the rest of the offseason. You got Hurts, and they call the timeout. It's 4th down. 10 yards to go. 4th down. 20 yards from saving the season. And they're on it, and Hurts is there, and Sirianni's there, and the only guy talking is the guy who hasn't got it right all freaking year. And I'm going, this is like the Three Stooges getting together and Larry doing all the talking.
You know, my wife is in the background laughing her ass off right now.
It's like, who's the least likely guy to come up with a play here? Okay, let's go to Patullo. He's been wrong all year. Maybe the odds are going to turn on him. He goes, here's my play. And in fact, I read up on this the last few days too.
This is awesome.
Send 4 guys out, straight out, and I'll throw it. and apparently, I'm not as savvy as you, a lot of other people about football, but it was the absolute worst thing to call in the defense that the Niners had for that play. It was the worst possible scenario because they had all those guys sitting back there waiting to swat it down. And I went, wow, they deferred to Kevin Patullo after a season of failure, thinking, yeah, it'll all change now. How'd that work out for you, boys?
Oh, my God. Hey. Angelo, I mean, you got my whole house laughing right now. Like, hey, unbelievable. But here, okay, who made the hire? Who put him in?
Sirianni.
Is the same guy going to pick the next guy that picked that guy?
No, it is not. All right, let me just say that. Sirianni made that hire. And he made that hire because he told the bosses, coming off a Super Bowl victory, this guy, it's perfect. He already understands what we do. He worked with Kellen Moore for a year. He's got it all. Oh, it's going to be great. It's not Brian Johnson. No, that was bad. I'll acknowledge that now. That was bad. This is great. And then, look, I listen to people for 5 minutes, Dan, and I usually have some sense for their intellectual capability. It's why I've always thought Sirianni was a moron, all right? Sirianni is the president of Mensa compared to Kevin Patullo. He held a news conference every week. Listen to it and tell me, yeah, there's the guy. There's a visionary for the future of offense in the NFL. Come on. I mean, 5 minutes and you got some sense for it. So the decision, Sirianni took his shot again. I would be shocked if they're smart at all that he's never doing that again. It's not his decision anymore. It's Howie and Lurie's. And you can already see it now. They're doing the dog and pony show again. They're bringing in 15 different guys, having 5-6 hour interviews with these guys, asking them the name of their pets. I don't know what they're asking for 6 hours, right? Right?
Angelo.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do you believe? Okay, so the next hire, you think Howie's making it, or do you also go down the lane of Jeff McClain's latest column that they were going to fire Nick Sirianni after the 23 season, and they were even thinking of firing him last year after the first 4? If you believe that story from Jeff McClain, then you have to believe that guy is going to have nothing to do with the next hire.
Correct.
There's people in Philadelphia that believe that guy is in control of the coaching staff. How's that possible? If you don't believe that article, that's one side. But if you do believe it, you're not going to put that in the hands of that guy. What do you believe?
I believe it. Jeff McClain is a very, very good reporter. Very good reporter. The best in our city covering the Eagles. And if he tells you that they were on the fence a couple of times with Sirianni, there's every reason to believe they are, because Sirianni is not the kind of guy when he loses a season the way he did here, that you could spell out all the things he did well. You know, like I can't tell you one thing, Dan, that Nick Sirianni does well as a head coach of the Eagles. Not one thing. I can tell you he's not the offensive genius they thought when they were bringing him in. Because he was going to call plays. He couldn't do it. He ended up deferring because he knows he can't do that. He's no defensive mind. He doesn't do anything with special teams. And we're always told about the brilliant culture he creates. How many of these other playoff teams had a coach in an out-and-out, jaw-to-jaw screaming match with one of his star players during the game other than Sirianni and the A.J. Brown? I don't know one damn thing he does well. Okay, he does win, but I'm going to tell you that's because he's got so much talent to work with that they're Nick-proof. They are literally able to win despite him, not because of him. His demeanor on the sideline, is that impressive to anybody?
No.
What does he do well? Is he good in news conferences? Hell no. What does he do well?
I ask the question all the time. What's his job?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm with you. I think he wins in spite of the I think the great talent they have on that roster, Angelo. I really do. I think they win in spite of him here. All right. So now there's another report. Jeremy Fowler came out today that was posted that said that league executives believe that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to move off of A.J. Brown this coming offseason. How did we get here? You're not a better team without him.
It's not that simple. I know they're trying to make it that simple, but the way his contract is structured, they're going to take a massive, massive cap hit if they get rid of him, especially before June. All right. So he isn't going anywhere until June. And even then, I guess he wore out his welcome. You're not going to find a guy. You know, how he said one thing that was honest and real. He said, it's hard to find players that good. When you got one, you're going to get rid of him. The truth is, if you're getting rid of a player because you don't like his attitude, that is not just a failure of the player. It's a failure of the coaching staff. They couldn't find a way to connect with him. It's their failure too, especially when you keep preaching to your fans that the one thing your coaching staff is great at is creating a winning atmosphere, an atmosphere of success. So, yeah, they might do it. And if they do, they're going to take a step back because the point is this. This is the point everybody keeps missing there. A.J. Brown's year of pouting was not without cause. They would throw him 5 balls out of 12, and then he wouldn't see a play call for 3 quarters. The play calling was so pitiful, so scattergun. It was all over the place that he was justifiably frustrated. He shouldn't have done the stuff he did. It's immature, but you got to figure out how to make that work. He's a great player.
Great player.
He's a great player. And you not only took that away, by the end, by the final games, he was just mailing it in. He dropped a couple of balls in a big game. You know, he wasn't there anymore. They had basically completely ruined his effectiveness by the way they used him that year. Yet another reason that Patullo is the cause of this. Not all this other crap they're selling to you. He blew it. He did it. It's not that complicated. He blew the season.
So in your opinion, you believe it's the passing game, not the passer, that he's pissed with?
I do. Because I have seen Hurts play brilliantly with good offensive coordinators. And I saw this year how bad he looked with an awful coordinator. Maybe he needs it more than other, it's possible Josh Allen, although all he did was turn the ball over last weekend, but a lot of guys can overcome that. I'm not so sure Hurts can. He really needs good coaching, and he didn't get it.
Do you believe, Angelo, that we've seen the best of Hurts, or do you believe that there's still the best to come?
The best is right. He's still 28, 27. He's still young. He's smart. He's durable. He's been able to play through all this. He's been taking plenty of hits. He just needs better coaching. He needs to be able to drop back down and see an open receiver because they schemed it well, because they set it up, because they set up a scenario where Brown over the middle doesn't have 3 people draped over him, and he can zing it right in there. You watch these other games, and you see how even Nakua gets open a lot because they're scheming to get him open.
I want to tell you what Michael Irvin said about what he witnessed with the Eagles, and you tell me if you subscribe to it. Michael said when he was in Dallas and North Turner was running the passing game, he ran the passing game through Michael. The passing game went through Michael. When Chan Gailey got in, it was about this grandiose scheme of getting everybody open and throwing here and throwing there. Michael Irvin said there were times on 3rd down, he's sitting on the sidelines going, wait a minute. What am I doing here? The passing game goes through me, not through some rookie kid or some guy who's a free agent. And it was the coordinator trying to be so creative that you didn't go through a centric guy. He said what's happened in Philadelphia is they think of their system more than they think of the players at times.
Well,
the offense has to go through AJ, not through Jahan Dotson or not through somebody else, right? So again, it's more about the coaches than it is about the players, like you say. And when they get in trouble, Angelo, the players bail them out.
The essence of a great coach is somebody who brings the best out in his players. Did you see that this year?
No.
Hell no. Hell no. Wait, hold on. You actually did. On the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
Where Vic Fangio was your coach. And you saw the way he took guys that really had not that much of a resume and turned them into very serviceable players because he knows how to coach. Coaching, the NFL is such a coach's game. You know, my son's a big Giants fan, and he's over the moon right now because he's got John Harbaugh as his head coach. And I said to him, congratulations. I can tell you now that you have a better head coach than the Eagles do. and will continue to for years to come, because we're stuck with Sirianni and his great record until he gets unmasked for good. And it's coming. I hate to tell you, it's coming.
Do you think the Eagles take a step back in 26?
I hope not. I wouldn't necessarily think that, because their offense, I said in the thing, you could get a sea urchin, which is just a big blob on the bottom of the ocean, and stick the sea urchin where Kevin Patullo was, and you would be upgrading the offensive coordinator position. All right. So no, the offense is going to be better. All they got to do is make sure none of these guys they're interviewing for offensive coordinator has any sort of a past with Sirianni. I don't want, there's like 5 of them now. Jim Bob Cooter and Brian Daboll and all these guys. No, I don't want any of them. Frank Reich, no, I'm sorry. If you work with Sirianni, you're off, because he will immediately think you're going to be adopting part of one of his stupid schemes.
Kellen Moore wasn't associated with him.
Don't. I'm telling you right now, as long as they bring in a guy the way they did with Kellen Moore, they find a good offensive coordinator who knows how to call plays, knows how to scheme your offense, they'll be better next year. They will be better. Now,
all right, I got 2 last ones here for you.
Yes.
What's the Yachtsman thinking right now? What is, and how is Jeffrey Lurie looking at this? Is he looking at it like this? We're health and an OC away from winning the Super Bowl again.
Right.
And that's why he believes in his system and in the way that they do business in the front office. How do you think he looks at their situation and getting bounced by that Niner team?
Well, I'd say today he's more concerned in trying to refurbish his hull. You know, he's got the hull on the latest yacht.
You got to paint it now. It's because it's the weather time. You paint it, right? Yeah.
Here's the thing. Let's lay our cards on the table about Lurie. Lurie is involved, but he only makes it public that he's involved when they win. That if they're like this year, you won't see or hear a damn thing from him until the owners' meetings in March. And then he'll come out with a lot of long-winded nonsense, all right? Because he can't pontificate about the essence of greatness and what it takes to win in the NFL and all this other stuff, that's what he loves to do. He's as involved as an owner needs to be to take credit when they win. But Howie's the guy. Do you understand? Howie somehow, if Howie said to Jeff Lurie last year, I don't think we should bring Patullo. I think we should do what we did with Kellen Moore. That's what would have happened. Howie's the brains of the operation, not Lurie, and definitely not Sirianni. So ultimately, Lurie right now is thinking, we better fix this soon. Sirianni's on the clock. Because if you read the McLean story, you realize they're not head over heels for Sirianni. And less so now than in a couple of years.
So you think the 2 years of the last 3 years where a coordinator has been blown out, even with the equity of the Super Bowl, you think they know who this guy is now?
Yeah, they
and his limitations.
All right. If it takes me 5 minutes listening to him to know he's a moron, I got to figure 5 years with him would make it pretty clear to them by now. All right. But you don't argue a record, and he had the record. You know, deep down, Howie Roseman's got to look at himself and go, man, how many would we have won with this roster if we had a really good coach? And the odds are they would have won this year, Dan. They would have back-to-backs. There's nobody in the Final Four right now that are as good, that are as talented as the Philadelphia Eagles. None. And you saw how the Niners just laid down and died in Seattle. They just died.
They just got killed. They
happened the week before.
You know, Jeff McClain put something else out there too, Angelo. You know, he put a tweet out there, and then he had to go back because Bob Lang obviously didn't like the way it was posted publicly. But here, and I'm paraphrasing, he goes, Howie, Jeffrey Lurie, and Julian Lurie, and of course, Nick. Nick will have some say, but those guys are going to be involved in the selection of the OC. Then Jeff had to go back and say, wait. It's Nick that really is going to be the guy and all that, all this and that. Are we looking at the transition right now that they're bringing Jeffrey Lurie's son into this right now, where maybe they're getting ready to have him become the next president of the organization, and Julian now is, because Julian's now part of the search for your new OC.
That's I did not see that, and that is gravely alarming to me. First of all, my own philosophy is the son of a highly successful person inevitably is less than his father. Inevitably. He didn't have to earn the money. My favorite saying of all time is he was born on third base and thinks he hit a triple. Now, Jeff, his mom, she got him the money to do what he did, and it worked out all right for him. 30 years, couple of Super Bowls, not bad. Super Bowl wins, 4 or 5 Super Bowl appearances. Julian Lurie is an analytics guy. You understand? Yep. He has worked his way through the organization, obviously fielded by his father, to crunch numbers. You want a number cruncher, decide who your next offensive coordinator is.
It sounds like that's how they run their offense now.
Dan, if Julian Lurie's name was included,
it was.
It is a highway to disaster. Look at the Knicks and the Rangers. All right, Chuck Dolan, brilliant cable magnate. James Dolan, horse's ass of the first ilk. One of the biggest horse's asses in the history of professional
sport.
Look
at the buses.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, go anywhere.
Look at the Steinbrenners. Look at
Steinbrenner. Hal Steinbrenner's counting nickels while their team's getting his dad's rolling over in his grave. Yeah, no, these second generation people, Dan, it's not going to work. It doesn't work. One time out of 100, it might work. The other 99, the kid didn't grow up in the same competitive atmosphere. He didn't work his way in. He didn't learn the ropes. He just got handed it. And now we're going to go, Julian, who should we get for offensive coordinator? Well, hold on. Let me check my computer breakdown and see who's got the best numbers. Hey, come on. That's all right.
Let me go. Let me ask you. I hear you here. All right, let me go here with you. Phillies, Dombrowski, and what he's done so far. I mean, hey, those names are pretty compelling that you've added. I mean, Bichette kind of like pulled the carpet out from under him too. I mean, that thing was an embarrassing moment there for them. But how do you think Dave Dombrowski's done so far in the offseason?
Awful. Buy your tickets today. We're rolling out a team that failed last year, and we got everybody back. All the big names are back to fail for you again. The Bichette thing is fascinating, though, because Dombrowski should know better, all right? Dombrowski's been a GM for a long time, and he's been a good one, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And he didn't see that the minute Tucker went to the Dodgers for $60 million a year, 4 years, and basically that the Mets lost out on that Steve Cohen, their rich billionaire guy, wouldn't go, buy me the next one. I don't care who it is. Well, Bichette's still out there, but the Phillies are pretty close. They're just working out a few details. Pay them, get them. And they didn't even know, Dan, they didn't even get any warning. They suddenly they were told, Bichette's signing with the Mets. I went, oh my God, what are we going to do? Let's get JT Realmuto back. I'm sure he'll be in a good state of mind after we were rejecting him for Bichette. And we'll just have the exact same team. And let's get Rob Thompson back in there. So if we're ever threatening to win a big playoff game, he will find a way to foul it up. Disaster. I wouldn't buy a ticket to a Phillies game this year if you gave me a coupon 3/4 off.
Angelo, last place we're going here. All right. Is there any way to save the Sixers and get away from it. Is there any way out of this marriage? You know, you're in a marriage you just don't want to be in any longer.
They
Is there
can't get
any
out of
way
it.
out of it?
Yeah, believe it or not, somehow you have to find somebody to take Embiid. You got to, you got to.
Why would you?
You can't, right? You got to find the Kevin Patullo of GMs in the NBA, and you got to convince them that this guy, he's got a lot of good years left, man. I'll tell you. I know he's got a lot of health issues, but man,
he's a speed cone right now.
yeah, no, that I'm sorry to say that horse has left the barn and took the process with him. It's over. They're not winning anything with Embiid, and they know it. Dan, they know it. That's the sad part. They understand that the window is closed there.
Man. Angelo, do you have any team that you're looking at to win the Super Bowl? Do you think it's the Seahawks Super Bowl?
I'll tell you who I want to win. And it's ironic because I grew up there and yet never rooted for the team.
New England.
And it's New England. And here's why. I really love their coach.
Mike Vrabel.
I love.
You could have had him.
Vrabel. Oh, yeah, we could. Yeah. You watch this guy. This is a coach. Watch him. Watch him on the sideline. Watch him the way he's maneuvering stuff. Watch. He took that. What did that team last year? 3-14?
4 wins. 4 wins.
4-13? 4-13. And now they're 16-3.
Yep.
Hello? I understand. They caught some breaks. They had an easy schedule. They missed some of the better quarterback. I get all that. I don't remember anybody doing something that great in 1 year. And look, they're playing Denver without Bo Nix. They got a really good chance to go to Super Bowl, right? Now, the last thing anybody should want is for Robert Kraft to be holding up the trophy again after all the Brady Belichick years. But I really like Vrabel, and I just like the way they've done it because they did it. They came out of nowhere. I am rooting for the underdog, and that's the Patriots to be champions.
You know what? It's crazy that you said about ownership. So he went to a Super Bowl, Angelo, with Bledsoe and Parcells. He went to the Super Bowl, obviously, with Brady and with Belichick. And now Kraft has a shot to go to the Super Bowl with May and Vrabel. You talk about a guy who just gets out of the way when needed and doesn't parachute in, and he enables his coach to coach.
Yeah.
Hire the personnel. Go get Josh McDaniels. Evaluate talent. I think the Eagles could be that organization, but I think they put too many speed bumps in their way. Do you not agree under this ownership? They've probably let 2 Super Bowls at least go.
This one for sure. This one for sure. And back a few years, maybe with Doug. They've had a great roster for quite a while now. They got 1 trophy, one of the big ones, the Lombardis. It should be more. It should be at least 2, and maybe more than 2. But the one thing about Robert Kraft that made me nervous, it was really a snowy, awful day. You could barely see in the luxury box. But Robert was there, and his son was sitting next to him.
Oh, I know.
If his son takes over, there's hope for all of us.
If his son takes over, I got a feeling they're going to be back to the Victor Kiam, and they're going to be back to the Sullivan family days where we're going to see guys like Steve Grogan quarterbacking. Angelo, always great stuff. Remember Steve Grogan with the horse collar?
Oh, I remember.
The only quarterback I ever seen with a horse collar.
I covered them back then, right? And they knew they sucked.
Absolutely. Angelo, tell the family thank you very much for allowing you to do this. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. That is Angelo Cataldi. Bottom feeder. Whew, man. Whew, that was a little hot. Man, that was a little hot. So he buys the Jeff McClain stuff. Big Z will join us at 3:30. Oof. I think we're getting greedy. What did we get with the addition of this talent? We got another ring. Some teams are still trying. You're not wrong. But wait a minute. You set a standard for yourself. What's wrong with setting a standard that you want championships? The Patriots have it. What's wrong with you having it? Your benchmark for a bottom is 11-6. I think that's great. Actually, if you're telling me your floor for failure is 11-6, you're a great organization. Most organizations that have a floor have 4 wins. It's an elite organization. You're elite. Here are the elite franchises in my eyes. Patriots. Patriots are number 1. Chiefs. Eagles. Seahawks. Steelers, I don't know. Rams. And then you can pick the rest of them. Patriots, Chiefs, Eagles, Seahawks, and Rams. Those are my elite franchises. Those are the teams that do it right. Those are the teams that are always in it. Here's a line for you. Do you know over the last 15 years, going to conference championships and going to AFC championships, two teams have dominated the AFC, Chiefs and Patriots. One of those 2 teams have been in the AFC championship 15 straight years. 15 straight years, those 2 teams have been in the conference title game. That's elite. And yes, Rams. Rams won a Super Bowl a couple years ago. Rams were in another one a few years before that. In Los Angeles, in the last, 7 years? They've been to 2 Super Bowls and won one. Now they're going to another conference championship. Yeah, the Rams. 49ers, I would say the 49ers are a really good franchise. But they got to win it, dude. They got to win it. Okay? Sills, I got to know. I watched McNabb not go to bat for T.O. It was totally stupid. Will Hurts go to bat for A.J.? Yes. I think if Jalen Hurts was the quarterback when Terrell Owens was on this team, Terrell Owens would have played 5-6 years in Philadelphia. I think that Donovan McNabb, in my opinion, is one of the worst leaders in pro football history. I mean, Deshaun Jackson, when I heard his comments about Donovan McNabb, that's all I needed to know. I think Donovan McNabb's a horrible leader. I think Jalen Hurts would have got the best out of T.O., and I think that T.O. would have had a career in Philly. And it would have not been just 1 year or a year and a half. That story that Deshaun Jackson told, that when he went to the Pro Bowl, that Donovan McNabb was talking shit on him because he became the first player to be named to the Pro Bowl as a wideout and kick returner. He said he was overrated. Instead of going to bat for your teammate and saying how great of an accomplishment it was, McNabb's talking shit on him behind his back. That's the kind of quarterback you had. So when everybody wants to blame T.O. for all the BS that went down between McNabb and him, McNabb's he's a shitty leader. That's out of the mouth of Deshaun Jackson, not Dan Sileo. That's not my take. That's Deshaun Jackson's take. You're talking shit on your teammate for a great accomplishment. He became the first player of that designation in the history of the Pro Bowl. And McNabb's talking shit on him. Because it wasn't about McNabb. Okay? Dude, McNabb turned out to be a bum in the end. He didn't want to run either. Hey, well, Jalen, welcome to the McNabb school of how to lose your football team, because if you don't run, Jalen Hurts is nowhere near the passer McNabb was. McNabb should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame because his stupidity kept him out of it. I remember seeing him in LA Fitness as a kid in Arizona. He made fun of me for asking to meet him as a 10-year-old kid. That's always disappointing to hear shit like that. When you go up to a guy who you idolize and all of a sudden the guy treats you like shit, that's always terrible. I hate those stories. I do. Yeah, he's a prima donna. Well, again, I think Hurts is a better leader. I think he's a better leader. I think his teammates like him more. But McNabb was more talented. McNabb was more talented. You could make the argument that McNabb has as much talent as Patrick Mahomes. The difference is Patrick Mahomes embraces Andy Reid's coaching. I really wonder at times if McNabb ever did. Because think about it. Who's the number one receiver that McNabb had? And who's the number one receiver who Mahomes has had? He had a headache. Tyreek Hill. Got rid of him. He still won Super Bowls. Andy got a McNabb T.O. Got rid of him. Never was the same. Patrick Mahomes doesn't need a top-flight wideout to win Super Bowls. McNabb needed a top-flight receiver to get to a Super Bowl. Mahomes doesn't. Yeah, Mike Allstott's a good dude. Knew him and know him well. One of the most revered guys in Tampa Bay for sure. McNabb was way more, he is, but being way more talented. Hey, Aaron Rodgers is way more talented than Tom Brady, but he ain't better. You got 60 to play? Taking Brady over that guy, I don't care how good and how talented he is. Did you see Hurts was voted the 12th best leader in the Atlantic, 100 best leaders in sports? Face Jordan. Take you a long way. Brian Westbrook bailed McNabb out. So one of my favorite, if not my favorite offensive player that the Eagles have had in 25 years is Brian Westbrook. I love Brian Westbrook. Great football player. Underrated. Could do everything. Catch the football, block, run in between the tackles. I love me some Brian Westbrook. Okay, I do. All right, got another topic here for you. If you were the Philadelphia Eagles coming, when is the NFL draft? Let me go here. What date is the NFL draft? Is it on the 27th? NFL draft. When is this thing? When is the NFL draft? 24th and 26th. It's in Green Bay, right? 24th and 26th. It's in Green Bay. All right, Kyle, thanks. All right. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, do you draft a quarterback in the third round? Would you take a QB in the third round? Yes or no? What do you think? Okay. What do you think? Third round? Respectfully, no. Big Sills, biggest fan of you here from overseas. Thank you very much, my friend. Keep it up. And please continue to share your opinion. Don't pay attention to the critics. Screw the haters. You're doing great. James Gaming, new name. Thank you very much. German Eagle. I've been over to Germany, believe it or not. Thank you very much. That's really cool. Appreciate you, man. Why Hurts is the man. I want Trinidad in the 4th. Okay? Let's see who the Eagles could take in the 3rd round. NFL quarterbacks, NFL QBs, 2026 NFL draft. Let's rank them. Quarterbacks. Who would I take in the 3rd round? Dante Moore's not coming out of Oregon. The kid from Penn State, the kid from Clemson, Nussmeier, Ty Simpson may go back to college. Carson Beck. I think Mateer may stay in college. Here's the rankings. Fernando Mendoza, number 1. Ty Simpson's number 2. Garrett Nussmeier is number 3, kid from LSU. Beck is 4. Trinidad Chambliss would be there. Talon Green would be there. The 6'6" QB from Arkansas. Trinidad Chambliss, 6'1". Diego Pavia would be there. Do you draft a QB in the 3rd round? Or do you bring a guy in that's a free agent that's out there? That kid from Arkansas is pretty good. I like that kid. I don't think he was surrounded by a lot of good players. That kid Daniels that plays at Kansas is not bad. Someone else to look at? The kid from Arizona, Noah Fifta, is not bad. Trinidad Chambliss in the 4th round. Would you do it? Pass on that? All right. I have a rule. If I was a general manager, I would draft a quarterback in every single draft. You never know when you land on Brady. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to take him in the 3rd or the 2nd. But if I see a quarterback that's there, I'm going to draft him. I don't think you can go wrong ever drafting a quarterback. Now, if you draft a guy that's supposed to, he has an evaluation of a 5th round pick, and you take him in the 1st round, that's where you get in trouble. That's where a lot of these bad teams get in trouble. Okay? But look at what you did. The Eagles took a guy in the 2nd round. He wasn't supposed to be your starting quarterback. The guy was never going to be in the room. Chambliss is a better quarterback than the LSU guy, Nussmeier. I agree. I'm not sure what this means. 3rd is entirely too early. Okay. Well, the reason we asked the question, how many more years of Hurts do you think you have? I'm going to tell you what I think. How many more years? I asked Xander this yesterday. You know, how many more years of Jalen Hurts do you think you have? Being some of your eyes an elite guy. Especially the way you coach him. 4? You think this guy's going to have an 11-year career in Philly? No way. I made this comment to you this offseason. I told you in 3 years he won't be your starting quarterback. Who wants to bet that? 3 years. How many people in here believe Jalen Hurts will be your starting quarterback in 3 years? I don't. Three years, he won't be. Like, he'll play 3 more. And then he won't be the quarterback. 2. I give it 2 at most. You wait for 27. A lot of great quarterbacks. I think quarterbacks next year. Look, Arch is not going to be in the conversation for you unless you completely shit the bed and you win 4 ball games. Sills is Purdy. Wait a minute. Sills is Purdy worth the $52 million a year? Yeah. He beating you alone, he is. Well, here, let me get this. What's Brock Purdy's postseason record? How many people in here don't believe that Brock Purdy is worth the $52 million? Let's see here. Double check something. How many people believe that Brock Purdy is worth $52 million? How many people believe that? Guy's 5-2 in the postseason. He's 5-2 as a starting quarterback. Do you think the 7th rounder, who was the last player drafted, he's 5-2? Name me a quarterback outside of Jalen Hurts who's now 6-4. He's got 1 less victory than Jalen Hurts. He's 5-2. He started a couple years less than Jalen. And in 7 playoff games, he's 5-2. Of all the $50 million quarterbacks in the NFC, is he not worth it? He's 5-2. Well, wait. Okay. So is it Jalen Hurts or is it Nick Sirianni then? Ask that question. Been to a Super Bowl, won an NFC championship game, and he was the last player drafted in the draft. 7th round pick. Congratulations, 49er fans, for beating the Eagles but not winning the Super Bowl in 30-plus years. What were you expecting them to do? I think the 49ers had a great year. Based on all the shit that went down, one thing that came out of the 49ers year, they have superior coaching than you do. Or they had it because Salah's now not there any longer. He's in Tennessee. You guys had the better football team. You guys had the better defense, and you still lost to them. The Niners were a shell of that. I mean, like Angelo said, they were a carcass team. Purdy, the last pick, and look what he's done. Luck, system, team, who cares? He's done it. He's a franchise quarterback. He sure is. I like that. Sean McDermott to the 49ers. I also like Raheem Morris to the 49ers as their DC. But McDermott to the 49ers, That makes some sense. I like that. Plus, there's a relationship with Shanahan and Sean McDermott. Diggs played one snap for Green Bay and got trucked. We will see where they are next year without Saleh. Why? They went to a Super Bowl without Saleh when he left. You had Steve Wilkes, and you almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs with Steve Wilkes. Saleh left, Wilkes went in, and they went to a Super Bowl and got beat in the fifth quarter of that Super Bowl. They went to a Super Bowl without him. Dude, it's Kyle Shanahan. It's Kyle Shanahan. Seals, did Saleh have a better year than Vic? No. Vic made Adoree Jackson work. Okay? He saved Nakobe Dean's career when healthy. He invented Zach Bond like he was Pinocchio. I mean, like you carved this guy out and you made him. He made Zach Bond. I mean, this guy was a special teams guy in New Orleans. So give me that guy. I'll make him into an all-pro. And he did. I think he got job this year on being all-pro. He made Zach Bond. I mean, if there's one player that's benefited also from having Vic, has been Jordan Davis. He's made Davis better. Jalix Hunt, I thought was a stupid draft pick. I thought he was a stupid pick. He's a great coach. I happen to disagree with John a little bit because I think resumes have to matter. If you guys give me Jalen Hurts' resume, Steve Spagnuolo's got 4 Super Bowl wins. He's got 6 conference championship rings. I mean, on 2 different teams. That's got to matter. And figure this out. You know those Giant teams that won the Super Bowl? There was one Hall of Famer on it, Michael Strahan. Other than that, there were no other Hall of Famers. On those Giants team that beat Brady in the Super Bowl, there were no Hall of Famers. 0 Hall of Fame players. And they beat the Patriots. Strahan was on only one of them, too. The other one had none. Gus Bradley is already on the staff. Forget it. They're going to elevate Gus Bradley. Nice job there, Hollywood. Gus Bradley's on that staff. They will never hire a coordinator. No way. No how. Gus Bradley is a spectacular D coordinator. He created the Legion of Boom in Seattle with Carroll. They don't need a coordinator. Gus Bradley is on that staff. Forget it. Forget it. They're going to elevate him. The guy's got 2 Super Bowl rings. Gus Bradley's one of the top defensive-minded guys in the league. I have massive respect for that guy. Name me a first-round draft choice off the Legion of Boom. Can you? Anybody? You can't because there wasn't anyone. Maybe the linebacker. Maybe the linebacker that's in Washington right now was a first-rounder. Maybe. Was Earl Thomas? Earl Thomas may have been. Okay? Okay, dummy. Okay, there's one freaking guy, jackass. Seals, did Mike McDonald create the Legion of Boom? No. Gus Bradley. And Pete Carroll. The safety the Eagles missed for Graham. Yeah. Yeah. But the rest of those guys, like the Legion of Boom, it's just a great football team constructed by Carroll. Cam Chancellor was like a 4th rounder. Legion of Boom draft rounds. I think Thomas is the only guy. Richard Sherman was a 5th rounder. Chancellor, a 5th rounder. Thomas, a 1st rounder. Brandon Browner was a 6th rounder. Byron Maxwell was a 6th rounder. Bobby Wagner was a 2nd rounder. Every single guy in that Legion of Boom but Earl Thomas was a non-first round pick. That's how great that whole thing was. You didn't build them with one first. Like, look at the Eagle defense. There's 1st rounders everywhere and 2nd rounders. They built that thing with 1 first-round draft pick and late picks. That's what made that defense great. Sil Spags was a DC for the 07 Giants, and Perry Fuwell was the DC for the 11 team. Okay. I thought he was on that staff, though. Was he on that staff? I thought he was on that staff, too. What was AJ's scouting report before he was drafted? The teams think he would be as good. That's a great comment. What did people look at him? Came out of Ole Miss, right? AJ Brown. I got to go to my file here. Pre-draft profile. Weakness. Swagger level against LSU and Alabama appeared lower than usual. Struggled to uncover against LSU mega athletes. Dante Jackson in 17 faced limited press looks from slot. He's not good in the excuse me. Now we know why he's not in the slot. Faced limited press looks in the slot. Struggled in the slot in college. That's why the Eagles don't drop him down there. Appears more quicker than he is fast. Needs to prove he can work downfield against NFL speed. Drops appear when focused. Holy shit. This is A.J. Brown's pre-draft NFL scouting report. Swagger level against LSU and Alabama appeared lower than usual. Struggled to uncover against LSU mega athlete. Faced limited press looks from the slot. Appears quicker than he is fast. Needs to prove he can work downfield against NFL speed. Drops appear when focus declines. Needs to make better adjustments to poorly thrown balls. Can get too slick at the top of routes when trying to separate against athletes. Drops appear when focus declines. That's not left him. Huh. These profiles never lie. Some get better. Some never change. If you read Hurts's pre-draft, it's the same. All of his struggles. So when AJ's not completely checked in, he drops footballs. That could be why he's struggling now. If he had issues to get uncovered and maybe lost a step, plus Hurts needs him wide open. How about this? I think it's more to do with his attitude, why he's in this position. Seals, do you think Brian Dable would be a good OC hire? That's if your quarterback wants to run the ball. You tell me. The last two quarterbacks that Brian Dable worked with, were they running quarterbacks? Jackson Dart and Josh Allen? Well, if Jalen Hurts doesn't want to run, then no. Right? Then no. So AJ is the same as he is in college, immature. That's what it says here a little bit. Thank you very much. Very cool. Okay? Sills, I never saw that look in the eye of our offense despite what they said. X's and O's aside. I saw Chicago, and then we didn't look like that. I knew the end was coming. A man could say one thing, but eyes will tell you everything. Don't think they believed. William, thank you. I thought the Bears were hungrier. I thought the Bears wanted to fight. I thought the Bears wanted to fight the Rams. I think the Bears have taken on the mentality of their coach. You know, the coach wants to pick a fight with everybody. Sean McVay, the guy in Green Bay. William, that's really cool of you, man. Thank you. Really cool. Sills, I have visual proof of AJ saying Patullo isn't all at fault. So it's the passer or the passing game. Sills, how do you think Tanner would perform playing with the starters? Good. Elite? I don't know. Would you take a step back if you put him in? Remember something. You'd have to have a good run game. Because if you have the Saquon Barkley run game, that's going to get that quarterback killed. He's got to have a run game that's not taking minus yards. And you got to have a running back that can do what? Pass protect. Prince says it's the scheme. Well, the scheme would be different. How about this? Prince, do you think Nick Sirianni would be a better play caller with Tanner McKee or Jalen Hurts? Personally, Nick. I think Nick would be a better play caller. I think Nick would be a good offensive coordinator with Tanner. With Jalen, he's not. That's not the style of quarterback he coaches. That's like saying, hey, Mike McDaniel, I want you to coach Jalen. I don't coach guys like that. And if you don't have a run game, the team's going to look the same. What about that defense? So many question marks. Don't want Reed back. Well, I think whatever you're going to do with A.J. Brown's going to dictate a lot. I think there's two names. I think they're going to, I don't have any insight. I think they're going to punt on Jalen Carter because they can. And I don't believe they liked the year he had. He wasn't dominant. That guy was not dominant. I think they're going to punt on him. Then you got to figure out what you're going to do with Brown. Then you got to figure out is what's up with Lane. Because Lane and AJ are going to dictate this. Now, let me go back. Before I bring Z on. Jeremy Fowler posted out there. Let me get it. I want to make sure we read it out here. Here it is. Jeremy Fowler reports that some league executives believe that the Eagles will be trading A.J. Brown this offseason. The Eagles made a mistake. They should have traded him during the season. Now, this is Joe over on Sports Radio 94, WIP, also commentating on this. But Fowler's saying that league executives believe. He believes that AJ will be traded this offseason. Now, again, past June 1, pre-June 1, there's no doubt that this thing's going to go a post-June 1. But you still have to carry that from March 12th until June 1. until you get there. And you can't really do anything until March 12th when the new league starts. I think that's going to dictate what you do in free agency, what you're going to do in the draft, how you're going to address your defense. All right. So let's see what Big Z has to say here. Without further ado, let's bring our boy in here. Big Z, Xander Kraus joins us now. How you doing, bro?
What's up, Big Sills? How you living, brother?
So what'd you make of my team last night, the Canes versus Indiana?
It's a tough loss, man. Felt like that Indiana team, though, was just, sometimes teams feel like their destiny.
Yep.
And that Indiana team completely had that feel, 16-0, Indiana, really not a football school. Kurt Signetti, the whole story. I mean, no 5-star recruit. They really had every part of it.
They had 4 threes.
It's unbelievable. It's unfortunate that your Hurricanes lost, but I will say I think that's that might be exactly what your program needed to solidify being back to relevance. Now, I know you used to say, I hate the question, are we back? Well, that's a part of it because you were gone for a little bit, and I think when you go and you have success and your coach proves, what he's doing is going to work and the philosophy and what he's instituted in the locker room and in the building, I think that's the best thing that could have happened to Miami in terms of making it to that game. Now what's left, Sills, is you guys got to get over the mountaintop, and I think you guys will be able to do it in the next couple of years, so we'll see.
Jimmy Johnson said the worst loss he ever had in his entire coaching career was the 87 Fiesta Bowl that we all played in. He said, I became a better coach. I think Mario Cristobal will be a better coach. Don't you think Jalen became a better player after that loss in 22, became an understanding of crossing the finish line, how to win games? Don't you think Nick, even maybe the whole entire organization learned from that loss against Kansas City, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
You lose from failure. You learn from failure.
Now it takes you got to have the right kind of person to be able to go from that. Jimmy's a special guy. Jalen's a special player in that regard. I mean, they're so. But I'll tell you what, Mario was almost at a loss for words last night. They kept trying to interview him, and he didn't have a whole lot to say. Obviously, you lost to Natty, but he's grown a lot on me. I'm not gonna lie. Not that I didn't like him, but that I wasn't sure he was going to be the guy that would elevate to this level. Yeah. So it was a good game. I think that Mendoza kid really shows a lot of heart and a lot of passion. And in the world today, it's refreshing to see. Look, we don't have that in Philly. We don't have a passionate player like that in Philly that really wears the game on their sleeve, really wears it. You can see it oozing out of the kid every time he speaks. It's a special thing. So he's a good player, man, and I'm curious to see where he falls in the draft. But it was a good game. I'll tell you what, it was a good season for your team, man. It was a really good season for Miami.
Do you think that Fernando Mendoza goes number 1 overall?
I think he could. I don't know that he's a number 1 overall talent as much as I like him.
Brady was there to see him.
Absolutely. But you know how quarterbacks are, man. That's what changes an organization around. So somebody will do it. My favorite thing about Mendoza is, he's the kind of player that it might not wow you with the skill set, but it's the will, it's the heart, it's the fire, it's the want to. It's those type of things that you think could turn an organization.
Isn't it the things you guys like about Hurts and Philly?
Yeah, but very different, very different. They're both intangibles, but they're different intangibles. Mendoza is far more emotional than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts benched in the national championship, same emotion. Loses a Super Bowl, similar emotion. Wins a Super Bowl, cracks a smile finally. Jalen's not an emotional person, or at least outwardly, he's not an emotional person. Fernando is quite the opposite. But I will agree that they're both intangible traits that make those players likable.
What you make of the comment by Jeremy Fowler that the Eagles are going to, or executives believe in the league that A.J. Brown will be moved this offseason? Jeremy Fowler is one of the more respected guys that, Diana Rossini or certain people, Adam Schefter, these guys, they talk to these people.
Right.
They know what's going on. What do you make of that report? What do you think of that? That it looks like executives are saying that the Eagles are preparing to move him.
Well, I mean, I think it's true. I mean, how much more evidence do we need to question this? I said to you yesterday, if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it's a duck. He doesn't want to be here. Now there's rumors coming out that he wanted to be traded last year. By the way, I understand that people think a lot of these narratives that come out are just like made up. These agents, they get this stuff out for very specific reasons. His agent, I believe, is Jimmy Sexton and Tory Dandy of CAA. I mean, those are good agents. Those are guys.
No. Those are elite dudes.
Those are the agents, right? I mean, that's the guy outside of maybe Drew and a couple others. But so, that story's not leaking out there for no reason.
No.
AJ doesn't want to play here anymore. That's what it appears. And you know what, dude? At the end of the day, yeah, I think it's a loss to lose AJ Brown. But if that's the mentality, then all right, dude, goodbye and good riddance. Like, what do you want me to do? Fucking sulk? I mean, what do you want me to do? Beg you to stay here? You don't want to play in Philly anymore because the offense? I get it. But all right, goodbye. Maximize the value on the return if that's the route you have to go, and figure out what you can do, to replace the talent. I'll say this: there's a very small chance they replace the talent. I would say under 5%.
Completely.
Yeah, under 5%. So, but it's a tough thing. But again, it's not. I don't think it's the organization. I don't think Howie wants to trade AJ Brown.
No way.
No way. I don't think Jalen Hurts wants to get rid of AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown is done playing this style of football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what it comes down to. So I thought that scouting report you read was interesting. Dude, that's one of my favorite things to do nowadays is you look at players and you see how they develop. And obviously there's a lot of great stories of people overcoming weaknesses, but you look at scouting reports and so many times, man, it's fit to a T. I mean, you can even look at Jalen Hurts' scouting report and some of the problems that the Eagles offense has today. It's right there. It's right there in the pre-draft scouting report. That guy, Lance Zierlein, he's freaking good at what he does, man. He's on point a lot.
How about this? Here's strengths for A.J. Brown. Built for the NFL with outstanding lean muscle mass over compact frame. He elevated competitiveness, determination, routes are fast. But he adds speed, variance when needed. Sells routes to manipulate feet, hips, and cornerbacks. Can stick, stop, and open for short possession throws. Center of gravity allows for sharper breaks, access to complicated routes, instinctive in space. This is all true.
Yeah.
Secondary hustle to uncover after original route completes. Quality hand fighter. Excellent. And that's
very true. He's
that's
always
very true.
Always been amazing.
Tucks it away from his frame. Quick, strong hands, shields, and completes combat catches. Baseball outfielder with elite eye-hand coordination.
Yes, he does.
Ball tracking skills.
That's why he's got such great hands, because he's got such good hand-eye coordination. That's all catching is. I mean, it's not only that, but that's a massive part of it. I mean, I used to play goalie, in hockey. Every single game before the game, you sit there in front of the wall, you throw the ball off the wall, boom, you catch. Hand-eye coordination. I mean, you watch that ball into your hands, you go out and you get it. AJ's very elite at that.
Weakness. Swagger level against LSU and Alabama appeared lower than usual. Struggled to uncover against LSU mega athlete Dante Jackson in 17. Faced limited press looks from the slot. Not good in the slot. That's why they don't play him there. Yeah. Appears more quicker than fast. Needs to prove he can work downfield against NFL speed. Drops appear when focus declines.
Yep, that's...
Dude, how many years ago was this?
Dude, I got to pull that up tomorrow on Birds. That's amazing. Yeah, that's so on point. It's incredible how on point that is.
I always do that. I go back and what they thought of the player then and what you see the player today. Yep. If they've improved as a player, you go, well, because they said that Jalen was not very good in the pocket. Well, he's improved in that.
Yeah.
People
are who they are, people are who they are. That's why drafting is such an important thing to do your homework on, guys, because I saw a study, I don't know where I saw it, but most people are like the same exact personality as when they're 7 years old. That's when they're 70. I'm like, wow, that's true for me. So I don't know if it's true for everybody else, but it's certainly true for me. I've been the same asshole my whole fucking life. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, look, it's interesting and clear that he did lose focus here in Philly. And if he's done here, then so be it. Gonna be tough to replace him.
Okay, but wait. Doesn't that dictate then who the next OC is if you don't have A.J. Brown here?
No. Why would that dictate who the OC is?
Well, if you're not going to have that guy on the perimeter, who are you putting out there? Jan Dotson?
Wait, you want to make it even worse? Now you also have a quarterback who apparently doesn't want to run anymore, and he's not too prolific from the
pocket.
What
are we doing here?
Now you're going to pick one of the wide out? I mean, what are we doing here?
Hey,
look, this is why I don't think they want to get rid of him. But if he makes it unbearable, which he kind of already tried, you could kind of tell. He tried to make it pretty unbearable. I mean, it was almost like a couple points this year. It was like, all right, like, is this an act? You know, like he was getting ripped. He said he wasn't going to do it, and then like the game ends and he does it immediately. Bro, it was almost like he could like script it, you know?
I would be willing to take a knee and go, AJ, wait, don't go down the line of TO here, Xander, if you're the Eagles. Make this right. What do you want? If you want the player bad enough, are you just going to TO it and go, hey, fuck you, see you later, go ahead, get out, I hate you?
Yeah, but you said earlier on your show, you think the OC could change it. Like, I don't think the OC could change AJ.
I think who you hire, wait, if you hire Brian Dable, here, let me go.
Why?
I'll show you. If you hire Brian Dable, the last two quarterbacks that he coached, do they run?
Well, yeah, Daniel Jones, Jackson
Dart. If your quarterback here don't want to run, why are you hiring Dable?
Why do you think that's going to make AJ want to stay here? The quarterback's the quarterback. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, if they hire Dable, AJ's out for sure because you're going to try to improve the run game, not the pass game.
The pass game. Yeah, they brought in Kellen Moore to fix the pass game. It didn't work. He's one of the best at doing it in the league.
They're never going to fix his pass game.
I mean, the Saints were passing the ball this year with Tyler Shuck.
The run game they have to improve.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't get your point about Dable's a bad hire because we've already tried to hire the passing guy.
But wait a minute.
You might as well hire the guy who can improve the run.
Those two quarterbacks were willing to run.
I know.
I know. How would that be a good hire then with
everybody's going to see. Everybody. Come on in, everybody. The Xander point of the offseason will hold all year long, and it will be the exact question that everybody is waiting to see come week 1 of the 2026 NFL season. What version of Jalen Hurts are we getting? It's more important than the offensive coordinator. It's more important than your first-round draft choice. It's more important than your defensive personnel. It's more important than paying Jalen Phillips. It's more important than every part of this equation. What version of Jalen Hurts are we getting in 2026? It's the number one question of the offseason.
Completely. What version are you getting?
Who knows?
Topic 2. Exactly. Hey, I got it. What do you think you're getting?
I don't know what I'm getting. It's so conflicting because Jalen will contradict himself almost like question to question. That's how quick he'll contradict himself. Like literally that quick. He doesn't want to run one week, but the other week he blames it on Kevin Patullo. That's kind of the game the offensive coordinator is called. Jeff McClain, who I think has been more accurate than maybe anybody in the last year, says he doesn't want to run. It's not Kevin Patullo who doesn't want him to run. Believe me, Kevin Patullo was having eggs thrown in his house. His kids were getting harassed. You think if all he needed to do was have Jalen Hurts run a little bit to quiet that down, he wouldn't have done it? So I don't think Jalen wants to run. Who knows? Makes sense. Again, I explained it to you. It's business. He wants to make $50 million for the next 10 years, not the next 3 years. It's a $300 million proposition for Jalen Hurts to not run. He doesn't want to run. That's what I think.
So let me give you a little bit of behind the scenes with Mike McDaniel, why he didn't get that job up in Detroit. I talked to Chris Spielman last night.
I heard you tell me the story.
Works in the front office with the Lions, and he's one of the greatest players of all time. He's a dear friend of mine. I was trying to get him on the program here, and because I wanted to get his sense of what happened. He goes, well, Mike McDaniel went up there on an interview. He's sitting in there, and he goes, I have these plans here that I'd like to, bring in here, improve the passing game, and here's some of the guys I want to hire. Dan Campbell went, well, we're not going down that lane. We're not firing our offensive line coach. Our offensive line coach was really one of the things that helped us a lot. And Mike McDaniel goes, well, how do I sell my offensive approach and my attack if I can't have the people in here? Well, no, we want you to mesh. He goes, well, then you want me to run your offense. And he goes, yeah, well, I want it to mesh. He goes, well, if you want me to come in here and run your offense, Dan Campbell got up and left. And that was the end of that interview. That's what Chris Spielman told me.
Well, it's funny. I'm on both sides here because if you believe in your offense, why the fuck do you want to take someone else's offense?
I agree.
Especially if Mike McDaniel has shown the ability to adapt to multiple quarterback styles. So he's got the evidence. Now, here's the thing I'll agree with
Tampa agreed to this already.
But here's the thing. That's head coach business, brother. You shouldn't have gotten fired from your head. You could, when you were a head coach, you get to pick everybody on the offensive personnel. When you're up for an OC job, you don't get to pick everybody else. You're not the leader of this franchise. Okay? You're not. So if you don't want to give, that's all right. Then it's just not a fit. But I kind of see both sides. I mean, I get why Mike doesn't want to have any give, and I think Dan,
he got up and walked out.
I get why he didn't want to budge on it, but I'll say this to Dan. Don't let your ego get in the way. I don't think it did here. No, I don't think it did.
No. Last year he did when he picked up the play calling. When he picked up the play calling, he did let his ego get in the way because they were in the playoffs at the time.
Yeah, I know, but my point here is, there's got to be established hierarchy. That's the order of life. That's the order of.
You work for somebody.
You're a believing man, and even if you don't, you do. You submit to God. You submit to whatever you're going. That's life. Life is hierarchy.
For somebody in the world,
right? That's life. So, I don't blame Dan for not wanting to relinquish that power. I mean, who the fuck are you coming in here after you just failed in Miami? And now you want to. So I get it, but
mightily.
I get Mike not wanting to run his offense. I mean, Mike is good.
Yeah.
By the way, that would have been a fucking home run.
I know it would have if they
could have just with those weapons. Dude.
But guess what? So he went to Baltimore, and according to Ozzie Newsome, the meeting went well, but that was for a head coaching job. So I think what's happened here, this guy's got his wires crossed. I want this when I go in. And I think he's treating these OC jobs because here's the thing. Tampa's agreed to this. You want an OC coach fired? I mean, you want the O-line coach fired? Fine. You want now, Mike Evans had a problem with it from what I'm understanding because Mike Evans has a relationship with the wide receiver coach. Yeah. Mike Evans is like, hey, wait a minute here.
Pretty successful too.
Mike Evans goes like this. Hey, wait a minute here. I'm going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame because this guy helped me here. Who's this guy? Hello Kitty's coming in here and trying to tell us. And so the Glazers.
I'll tell Mike, hey, you'll have 1,200 next year if you stay healthy. So just pump the brakes here. I think this guy will get your yards.
I would tell him this. Hey, listen, you guys don't want to listen to me. I'm going to Kansas City with Mahomes. I'm going.
They hired. Did you see that Eric Bieniemy?
If Eric Bieniemy was so good,
they already hired him.
What?
He's their OC. They hired him.
Okay, here. Let me ask you about.
I don't like the hire. I don't go.
I think the hire's dumb.
Yeah, you're going back. Why are you going back to relive the past?
If he was so good, how come he hasn't been hired as a head coach or OC somewhere else?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
He left Andy.
I do think the Chiefs are a unique situation. Like, who are the Chiefs? How would the Chiefs hire McDaniel? It's Andy Reid's offense. Nobody's changing Andy. That you know what I mean? That's those
guys. They're not going there.
They kind of need an OC that doesn't want to do that much.
A second guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%.
So again, I mean, don't you think the Eagles are going to go down this lane? They're going to get a guy with a couple dents in the fender, bring him in here, and he's going to work with what the Eagles have done, and you got to mesh with what Nick is doing. And if you don't mesh, you're not going to get the job, and they're going to hire. I think the hiring is going to be very underwhelming for Eagle fans.
Well, it is because it's a tough setup. Nobody really knows. I mean, and this is where John. So a lot of people criticize John because they're like, "Oh, you're a media guy. Of course, you want them to be on it." But this is where John is talking about. He's not talking about that. He wants the information so he can be report. He sees the problems that you create. You're trying to hire a coach. Coaches look at that and say, does the owner run the ship? Does the GM run the ship? Does the head coach run the ship? His guy was the coordinator this year. He got fired after 1 year and they went to the playoffs. Brian Johnson was the quarterback guy. He got fired. I mean, it's not like you look at that situation and you know what you see? You see muddy water. And when you see muddy water, and by the way, Mike McDaniel's got a young kid. He's got a wife. He's a generally young dude. I mean, these guys aren't going to go somewhere where there's a chance I get blown out in 12 months. He's got to put his daughters in schools, his kids in school. He's got, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff. People forget that the real human element to all this stuff. And I think the Eagles situation is not, to be honest with you, and I'm not an OC, never would be, and I'm not proclaiming to know half as much or even a quarter as much as these guys. I wouldn't take the Philly job. Why would you take the Philly job? They've been
If I was fired, I would. If I was fired from a previous job, I would.
Depends the firing. You know, if you're
if I'm fired from the Browns OC job and the Eagles want to talk to me, I'm taking that job.
I mean, if you're not getting any opportunities, I guess, you know, why not? But, you know, look at Doug Peterson. Look
what they're doing with Josh Grisari. He just got fired in Tampa. They went 8-9.
It's like a
How could that be appealing? How's that appealing to the Eagles, an 8-9 OC? How's that appealing to me?
Philly's like a coaching graveyard on offense right now.
Or a grand slam.
Yeah, but it's not really.
Dude.
Yeah, Kellen Moore.
In the last 5 years, two head coaches have come out of that thing.
I'm aware. You've also had
three head coaches.
No, two.
Well, you had Steichen, you had Gannon.
Gannon defensive. I'm talking offensive. You also had 2 firings, so it's boom or bust. You know, and if you look, a guy like Mike McDaniel will look and say this. He'll say this about Kellen Moore getting a head coaching job. Yeah, Philly fans love to say Kellen got a head coaching job. He did. Mike McDaniel will look and say, Kellen butters his bread by calling great offensive football, passing football. He had the number 1 in Cowboys multiple years. He just elevated it again in New Orleans this year. And he didn't get a head coaching job for that. Yep. So the reason he got hired and what he was hired to do ultimately didn't work. They had to go to the running game. The running game is the reason he gets a head coaching job. And then he leaves and he runs a completely different offense again that looked nothing like the offense in Philly. So if you're Mike McDaniel and you look at that, you say, it's almost like the ball's out of my court. You know, what I'm going to try and do is not going to make us successful. I'm hoping that the offensive line can dominate again and that Saquon Barkley has another epic season, and then I'll get a head coaching job. But I'm not going to get a head coaching job from calling the offense that I think is so great. That didn't work for Kellen Moore. Hell, it didn't even work for Shane Steichen. He changed his offense too.
All right. Xander, I just got an email from Alonzo Highsmith. And the Philadelphia Eagles are kicking the can around on potentially talking to Thomas Brown, the Patriots passing coordinator and current tight ends coach. And he deals and works with Josh McDaniels. So Thomas Brown's name, Alonzo is the senior executive to Elliott Wolf in New England. So they can't talk right now because they got a game this week. So they would have to wait. So I heard you guys talking about timing. John thinks they'll name the guy by the end of the week. I think that guy's still out there. That maybe one of the coordinators or people in position, like with the Rams, with McVay, and with the Patriots, this guy, Thomas Brown, you might not make that hire by the end of the week.
Maybe.
Because you want to talk to some of these guys that are still active, right? I mean, would you not want to talk to somebody? You may not want Josh McDaniels as your head coach, but tell me you wouldn't want – I think Josh McDaniels is the best offensive coordinator in football right now. He's worked with Brady, and look at May. I mean, Xander, he's not a good head coach. They're 2 different jobs, as you know.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at Drake May, do you not see potential greatness coming up in the next 5-6 years?
That kid's a fucking stud. That kid's a stud. That kid can play ball. All right. Sometimes guys can just play ball. That kid can play ball. There's going to be no fall off with that guy to the level you've seen with a guy like a CJ Stroud or Jaden Daniels. No chance. I don't see that happening. But by the way, someone just alerted me of this. in the chat. Holy shit, did I not even realize this? Deshae Shavers, thank you for bringing this up. Matt Burke, who's the current defensive coordinator of the Houston Texans, probably the #1 defense in football this year. He was a part of Doug Peterson's coaching staff in Philadelphia.
That's
when
right.
Doug wanted to maintain and keep his assistants in the year 2020. He wanted to elevate, I believe, Matt Burke. And he was, now there was offensive stuff too. It was Press Taylor on offense. But I mean, that's a good point right there. Lurie and Howie don't let him eat that. Don't let Doug keep him. And now that dude's balling out in tennis in Houston.
What did you make of Angelo's comment that if Jeffrey Lurie's kid's involved in any way, according to the Jeff McClain tweet?
He's involved. Yeah, the kid loves it. Yeah, he's involved, majorly involved.
Is that a good thing?
No. Why would that be a good thing?
Right. I mean, I'll say, let's pretend that Nick has some say. Why would the kid be involved in his decision that he has no idea what he's talking about?
See, I more have an old school football approach with this. If you're talking about football, offensive coordinating, play calling, schematics, let the football guys make the decision. When it comes to personnel and drafting and contract, if Jolie and Lurie and Howie want to sit in a room and do all that I'm good with. That makes sense to me. You know what? Don't even let the football guys near that conversation. But when it comes to picking an offensive coordinator, let the football guys be the football guy. And that's the interesting part about Nick. I know everybody loves to bash Nick, but it's like, this is like you almost, if you're going to come and coach in Philadelphia, unless you're Vic Fangio, or you know, even John's reported on this, he's never seen a coach have so much cachet. He's the only guy who nobody tells him what to do. He's ever seen in his 10 years covering the Eagles. The only guy who's ever been able to do what he wants with nobody telling him what to do. But if you're a coach and you want to come to Philly, it's like they castrate coaches here. That's what they do. Football guys aren't allowed to be football guys anymore. Coaches aren't allowed to make the personnel decision. I mean, it's a weird setup. Again, this is why I don't think
you don't think it's a good job.
I said to you, it would not be the job I'd be seeking. No way.
Plus the quarterback and all that with how you want me to coach. But get this, not even anything on how you want me to coach him. Also, right?
Yeah, even more importantly, forget how you want me to coach him. How does he want to play? I mean, if I want him to run an offense, but he's unwilling to, run the ball, that's going to make my offense more ineffective. I mean, what am I going to do here? So I think, again, that's the biggest question.
It's like tying one arm behind your back here when you get the gig almost, right? Hey, real quick before we read some supers and we get to your pop here, I wrote 10 players down that are my top 10 athletes for the upcoming April draft. You tell me what you make of them. I know you're a college guy. I'm going to put Fernando Mendoza #1.
Yeah, I probably agree. Not a fan of it, but I agree.
Me too. OU quarterback. Ardville Reese, edge rusher, Ohio State. Caleb Downs, cornerback, OSU.
He left Bama, right?
What's that?
He left Bama, right?
I heard Nick go like this. What a awful decision. I mean, just to let that guy roll out of the building.
Well, it was. I mean, I think it was Caleb, but.
He goes, I should have did more. The guy was so good there, man.
Yeah, but can you really? I mean, I know Bama fan. It's easy to bash Caleb. I mean, it sucks he left, but is anybody really surprised you lost the greatest coach of all time and you hired a Pac-12 guy?
Yeah.
The defensive guy rolls out the building. I mean, really? I'm not surprised.
Hey, I'll say this to you, Xander. I'm not leaving Alabama. Wait, I'm leaving Alabama. I ain't leaving Nick Saban.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
I'm not leaving.
All right, go ahead. You had Mendoza, Reese,
and Downs. Francis McGowan, offensive tackle, Miami.
He's a stud, that kid.
I thought Miami's defensive lines were punishing last night. Mendoza got beat up last night. I got this kid, Davis Barkley from Texas A&M edge. Then I got Ruben Bain at 6.
Yeah, dude, I think he's a top 5 talent. I don't know if he's going to go top 5. I have him as a top 5 talent on my board. And I'm not a draft expert, but I do watch a lot of college. That kid is a freaking baller. dude.
I think he's the second best player in the country this year, next to Mendoza.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I'd probably agree with that.
I played with his uncle, Tolbert Bain.
I mean, that one receiver is real good this year. That Arizona State kid's super good.
I got Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame.
He's a stud too, dude. He's a stud too.
Spencer Fano, OT, Utah, 8. I got Tate, Ohio State, 9. And I got Peter Woods, DT, Clemson, 10. Those are my top 10 guys so far.
Pretty good. I like who you got. I think Carnell Tate's even better than where you got him, but I understand he might drop a little bit.
You think he's the best wideout in the draft?
I don't know. That Arizona State kid's pretty damn good too. What's that kid's name? Jordan something, I think? Yeah, Jordan Tyson. The
kid Lemon at Southern Cal's pretty decent too.
Yeah. So Jordan's got, I think he's got injury concern with the Arizona State kid, but Tate did too, right? Tate missed this year, didn't he? Yeah. So I mean, you got two dudes, but they're about the same size. But we'll see. I think Carnell Tate's the best receiver.
If Ruben goes down to 15, somehow gets down there because of whatever.
There's no way. If he falls to 15, the NFL is stupid. There's no way he should fall.
Would you trade up if you're the Eagles to get him at 23 to 15 to get him?
Well, I might be way wrong. I might be way off the rocker here, but I think he's going
4. Yeah,
I agree. Raiders are going to take Mendoza. Then you got the Jets. I mean, could no, he can't go 2 overall probably.
No.
They're gonna that Mogai or whatever that kid's name is.
Yeah. He's gonna go top. Miami's gonna have 2 guys in the top 5 this year, and that kid Messidor is gonna go down where the Eagles are.
I could see Bain being a top 5 pick.
Bro, Messidor is a good fucking player too. That kid on the other side.
Yeah,
he had 11 sacks. No, in the playoffs, I think counting. I think
is he going to the draft?
What?
Is he going to the draft?
Yeah, he's going to the draft. Messidor is 6'5". Bro, I think he's just as good as Jalen Phillips.
Yeah, but I like Bain's style better.
Yeah. Well, Bain's more like Will Anderson.
Yeah, Bain's dude. He's like someone comped him. I forget who it was. Oh, Devin Jackson on our show this morning, draft guy from the Inquirer. He comped him to Jared Verse. I thought it was a great comp.
Verse a little taller.
He's a little taller, but I mean, he had remember when Verse came out, he had Bain has short arms. Is
short
that
arms and
all that bullshit. I'm like, dude, he's rush the passer, dude. If somebody's got great athletic ability and it doesn't matter who's lined up on the other side of him, I mean, go get that guy. But
Tanner, he's 6'4", 275. Who does that remind you of? The guy in Cleveland. I mean, he's that kind of size. And I
would definitely take that guy, Ruben Bain.
Let's get to these supers, my friend.
Yeah, we got a big one here. Here we go. William, what's up, brother? Appreciate the super. Fellas, I'm at the point now with Hurts already making business decisions not to run and clearly wants to be viewed as another type of QB. Fine. Let him throw all over the lot. Sink or swim. I'm still drafting a quarterback in 26. I actually don't know if I disagree with it. It's not a bad take.
No.
I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to keep him in this, dumbed down offense? If he wants to throw the ball, all right, do it. Throw the ball. If you fall flat, we all know what the problem is.
Donovan McNabb ran himself out of Philly with that mentality right there with that take, though. He ran himself – when he stopped running, Xander, he became limited.
With all due respect to Jalen Hurts, Donovan McNabb throw the ball. I mean, late in his career, I know worm burners. I get it. I understand what everybody's problems are with Donovan, but Donovan was a great talent, dude.
Dude, he put 63 on Mike Canes one year.
Yeah, I mean –
okay. I watched that game when he was at Cuse. I'm like, who's this guy?
I don't think he could throw the pill. I think it's a little bit of a different scenario.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, he's a little bit different, dude. Yeah, that's a different guy.
By the way, Donovan McNabb was throwing to James Thrash and Todd Pinkston. I mean, 1 year he had 2. Yeah, 1 year. Now, whatever.
They went to the Super Bowl.
Donovan deserves blame for how that unfolded. Whatever. They were in the bowl the 1 year he had a good receiver.
Absolutely.
I mean, Donovan can throw. There's no doubt. All right, here we go. Kimberly. Z, everything I said to you came true. Love Tony. Yeah. Kimberly, you were on point. There's no doubt about it. Here's Kyle. I'm hearing Eagles are interested in Alabama offensive tackle Caden Proctor. He could be down there at 23. Kyle, I thought he'd go a little higher because he's one of those tackle sills that's – I watched him obviously every game this year. First off, the Bama – he's so athletic. Bama, created plays to throw him the ball in the flat. Yeah. Third and short. I hated the plays because why are you doing that with the tackle? But I just say that to illustrate how athletically gifted Caden Proctor is. He's one of those guys. He's like a.
He was great in the Oklahoma game.
He's like a Jordan Mailata. That's what he reminds me of, Jordan Mailata. So I thought he was going to go higher, but he's raw. He's really raw. He's not that great of a tackle.
I didn't think he was that hot in the Auburn game, though. That's the only – I didn't think he played. I thought he was excellent in the Oklahoma game.
I mean, you're betting on traits there, not what he's put on tape, really.
Yeah.
He's been good. I'm not saying he's been a bad tackle, but if he did fall to 23, that'd be the reason why. So, I don't know. Maybe a team bets on the traits there and takes him earlier.
So, if you trade A.J. Brown in March, after March 12th, you're still going OT and not going – wide receiver at 1?
I don't know. I mean, I think OT is likely, but what the Eagles are going to do is they're not going to chase. Like if the board doesn't fall their way, they're not going to take a tackle to take a tackle. I mean, I think an edge rusher's option. I know it's
best player available.
Yeah, but also within what the Eagles want. I mean, they're not going to take they're not going to take the best linebacker available. You know what I mean? They're going to
he's the fifth guy, and he's a no. Yeah, you're right.
They're going to take somebody that fits within what they want. But I don't know. A lot of people are mocking that tight end to us. Not my favorite. I mean, I like him. I think he's a good player. What's that kid's name? He's too small for me for a tight end. I mean, especially if Jalen Hurts is your quarterback. I mean, you need a guy who can block. What's that kid's name? Kenyon Sadiq, I think his name is. Yeah, or the Oregon kid. I mean, he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's small. I think he's 6'3", 6'2".
Yeah, no way.
I mean, you need a tight end, dude. You need a tight end is what you need. Yeah, 240. Guy's built like Nolan Smith. I don't know. So I like him, but we'll see.
6'3" on that offense, he's 6'3", 230.
Yeah, you don't need that, dude. You need a guy who can block. I think he can block, though, pretty good. That's the funny part about him.
Shit, Cortland Sutton's almost as big as that. 6'3", 230.
Let me look up his what does his scouting report say, that Kenyon Sadiq kid? It's a fun time of the year when you start getting into the draft.
I love college football. That's why. And pre-draft, let me see here. I get these ones that are really great. Pre-draft. Let's see here.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it says here. I didn't read Zerline's yet. I don't know if Zerline's done it yet, but I'll look. Blocks with a stable base. Very good blocker for his size with impressive functional strength. Blocks with a stable base, showing solid knee bend. Takes his run game responsibilities very seriously, playing with physicality and urgency. That's a good sign. You want a guy who's willing to block. That's another part of the tight end, today, is most of them don't want to block because college is so pass all over the yard, So that's good. Let's keep rolling. Here's Shady. Member for 16 months. Shady, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Trade AJ. Is there an O lineman we could target? Then come draft, we don't have to focus on O lineman and draft best player available. Shady, before Sills answers, I'll give you my response. I appreciate the thought process, and I kind of like it. But the only way for this to come true is if you got a dumbass organization, because anybody who trades an O-lineman that's worth something, especially a tackle, for a 30-year-old, $32 million wide receiver, they don't know how to build a football team.
You don't build from the outside in. You build from
inside out. You don't trade good offensive linemen for $30 million 30-year-old wideouts.
No, you build inside out.
So that to me feels really unlikely.
Well, again, Shady, remember, if you're really worth your salt as a GM, you will never, ever see a football team. If you see a GM drafting wide receivers and you have the worst O-line in football, that GM will be fired in a year. You build inside out. That's why the Eagles can go out and sign a guy and trade for a guy like AJ and draft Devontae, because they had the O-line. Now, that dynamic's changed, Xander. You don't have the same old line unless you think it's injury and not age related. What do you think the 2000? How about this? I gave you a topic. What version of the Jalen Hurts are you going to see in 26? Well, let me ask you this. What version of the Eagles offensive line are you going to see in 2026?
Yeah, it's a huge question as well. I mean, it also plays into how they're going to play, Here's
and
Phillip.
OC.
And to answer that question, here's Phillip. Can Proctor play guard Tuesday? I swear I saw that. Phillip, he definitely can. I mean, I don't think he's a natural guard, but he can play guard, and maybe that's an option, Sills. Replace Steen, put him there if Lane's back a year. You kick him out to right tackle when Lane is done.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what they would do, like they did with Cam.
That's the way, because they're not going to draft a guard in the first round.
No.
But like the way to improve that position is precisely this way. Draft a tackle who's in the wings, kind of like Cam Jurgens when he played guard for a year. Remember that before he became the center?
Yep.
That's how I could see them improving the guard spot. Otherwise, it's probably not getting you're not getting a top end pick to do that. At least
the top 3 players that are offensive linemen in this draft are Proctor, Fano, and the UM kid. Those are your top 3 dudes.
And the UM kid's probably the best one.
Yeah, and the UM kid's number 1. He's an IMG guy.
Yeah, those kids are studs.
I mean, yeah, he's an IMG guy. So, yeah.
All right, here we go. A couple more. Here's Paul. Apparently, Marcus Hayes reported that Nick is having a hard time convincing Mike McDaniel to interview for the OC. SMH, Hurts is killing us. Well, whether it's Hurts or not doesn't matter.
I just told you why.
We just talked about it. It's not an enticing spot. It's not. As much as people want to think it is because of the talent, it's not the most. It's a weird coach, GM, owner setup. You got the owner's son sitting in there looking at you. It's like, what, you don't know who you report to. You don't know if you get to call your own offense. You probably don't. You're probably not going to be able to bring any assistants with you. You don't know what you got at quarterback in terms of, is he dual threat? Is he done being dual threat? Is he going to go back to being dual threat? Is Kevin Patullo dumb? Is Jalen not as good as we thought? I mean, I don't think it's as good of a job as people think.
Xander. So, I kind of do a little bit of John stuff. Some guys tell me something. Xander's always doing this to me too. Don't post those texts that you get from people, please.
You always do that.
I do, and I got another one, and I got to tell you, Cliff Kingsbury's telling people like Mike McDaniel. Armando told me this morning that Cliff Kingsbury told Mike McDaniel, if you take that OC job in Philly, you got to go in there and run Nick's offense, not yours.
He's right.
And so Mike McDaniel.
Remember, they interviewed.
Well, fuck that. Why would I do it then? I'd rather go to the Browns.
Well, remember, they interviewed him too before they hired Kellen.
Yeah.
And as it's been reported, the breaking point was he wanted to bring in his own staff, which I don't hate them saying no, but that's obviously what they told him. You're not going to, you're running this offense.
He's never.
Dude, doesn't it sound like you almost need like a guppy? You almost need a guy who's just going to sit down and.
Kellen was fired twice prior to getting that job. Yeah, he had to take it. He had to take it. He was fired from Dallas, fired from the Chargers.
He parlayed it perfectly without even getting the offense he wanted.
And he landed on Saquon's brain and his body running for 2,700 yards. That's how he got that gig. Bro, do you think if Kellen Moore had the same group that he had this year, he'd be fired?
Probably. Who knows? But yeah, probably. Everybody loves to forget. I mean, they ran Kellen's offense for 4 weeks. They threw the ball all over the place. I think Hurts had 300 yards in 2 of the 4 games.
Motions and all kind. We're going, what is this?
7 turnovers, 2 and 2.
Hey, they come out of the timeout. Run right, run left. Run right, run left. Couple passes, it's over. I don't.
Well, it is what it is. All right, a couple more.
All right.
Here's German Eagle. What's up, brother? Actually, you got it.
No, he sent me a nice one before, too.
Yeah, German. What's up, brother? Love this. All offensive coordinators must work in Nick's scheme. For me, this is the real problem. Doesn't matter who you hire as an OC. Yeah, but it's also a problem. And you're right in that it's a problem. It doesn't matter who you hire, but it also makes it harder to hire at all.
Yes.
You need a guy who's an offensive coordinator, but doesn't really care so much about his own offense. I mean, that's basically like hiring somebody for their skill set, and they don't even really believe in their skill set.
Yes.
I mean, think about how backwards that is.
No, you're doing this. Hey, I really want you to come in here and be the offensive coordinator. Do I get to
No,
use
wait. The only analogy I know how to use is us. I'm hiring you to do a 4-hour show, but you only get your mic on for 30 minutes a show. And you'd be like, what the fuck? I mean, do you want me or do you not? I don't know what you want.
what am I doing here, right?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
All right, here's Pump. Diana Rossini just said that the locker room was in turmoil because players believe others getting special treatment. Players with a fan base of idiots. Well, I'll tell you what. You know what felt intentional to me, and I don't know. Maybe I'm going tinfoil hat here. When the season ended, AJ Brown posted up a bunch of like the season-ending like Cooper DeJean posted one, hugging AJ. Jordan Davis posted one that AJ was in. He's dancing, he's with the defense in the locker room. It almost felt to me like there was a concerted effort to show that the clique in the locker room included AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Which maybe would insinuate that there are more people on Team AJ inside that locker room than you think, which I think is true. I mean, we've talked about that a lot this year, but
there are. Dude, have you ever heard a teammate talk shit on him?
No.
Okay.
But that doesn't always mean that there's nothing to talk shit on. I mean, not everybody.
Well, I tell you what, if a player was acting like an asshole on the sidelines, I'd make a comment like, we all got to be on the same page together, and we got to be working together. I love the guy, but we got to be working together.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing. It's like, dude, these guys are the best football players on the planet. If I can look at the Eagles offense and say it sucks, if you can look at the Eagles offense and say it sucks, and if Billy Bob 342 in the chat can look at the Eagles offense and say the same thing, guess what? The guys on the team know too.
It's a duck, right?
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, they know too. They're not stupid. They know what's going on. Here's our Pump again. Would AJ Brown for DJ Moore work? I believe similar ages. Both guys need to
DJ Moore and AJ Brown are not in the same room.
No, they're not. AJ Brown's much better than that. Here's German Eagle. Jeremy Fowler could see AJ traded to the Bills. Man, I must say, AJ and Josh Allen would be dope. Love AJ still as a player. AJ and Josh Allen would be a machine.
AJ Brown and with that guy.
Oh gosh, no, they will finally get over the hump. They will. Yeah.
Wow. They need some defensive guys up there too, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, how many times does Josh Allen throw up 50 ball or balls to players? And it's not, how many interceptions is he going down because AJ's just going to win the one-on-ones, even if it's a hand fight in the air. I mean, AJ's winning.
I'd hire Belichick for that job. Fix the defense, Bill. Bring an OC in. Leave Joe Brady there. I don't know. They need to fix their defense. Hey, and by the way, just to make sure everyone knows, can't turn the ball over 4 times. It's a fact.
No, yeah, come on.
I mean, he gets killed for that too.
Here's Mr. Sills, can you get Sal Powell on to clear this mess up? Sal Powell's great, man.
I'll text him. I'll text him.
I'm telling you, I said it weeks ago for those who remember. Weeks ago, when the great Pat Callahan passed away, rest in peace, God rest his soul. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl this year, and Pat's going to be watching down from heaven. I'm telling you right now, I knew it. The Rams are going to go and win the bowl, although I think the Patriots have a good shot.
Hey, do you know Adam Kaplan?
Yeah, from Inside the Birds. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had him on that Sports Grid thing, and I told him I'd like to have him come on this show, and they that was their guest. And
they do a bunch with him. Sports Grid does some stuff.
So we'd be cool. We're gonna
He's well known in the Eagle community. He's on Inside the Birds a lot. Yeah, pretty
good. All right, we'll get him on.
Give JC some grace. He played like 85% of the snaps in 24.
Okay.
Yeah, look at his picture.
Oh my Pump!
That's unreal, man.
This guy's got. Is that Jalen?
I'm not even gonna say. If anybody's listening to the show, you got to load up YouTube and you got to zoom in. You can look at it yourself. I'm not even gonna say it. All right, that's all of our super chats today. I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got them all.
Okay, man, Xander. We got them all in here, don't we, man? Last one here for you. Who do you think they land on? Do you have any Anybody
I
you
think
like?
Brian Dable's going to tell Nick to kick rocks too.
Yeah.
Unless he feels like his coaching career could end if he doesn't take a job, like you just said. But he's not. He's got interest from a bunch of teams.
Yeah, no. He might. Get this. I think Jim Schwartz is going to get that Browns job, I'm hearing.
Really?
I think Jim Schwartz is going to be elevated.
Well, playing it safe. I mean,
Yeah.
I like Jim, but I mean, really?
Jim Schwartz is going to get that job. Because you know why? Nobody wants it.
Yeah, right. Who would want it? Quarterback hell, cap hell, awful roster.
You got to work with Shador.
I don't know why Myles Garrett stayed there. What a grave travesty to football fans all over the globe to have to watch that guy in Browns uniform all his career.
Can you see that guy like playing in a place where like the Rams, the Eagles, or some place like that where you get a chance to put it on display in the postseason, right?
Dude.
Man. All right.
Good show.
We're going to get your pop on here now. We're going to talk a little bit with him. Great deal coming up here. Big Z, we'll catch you in the morning, brother.
Later, brother. Appreciate you.
You got you, man. That's Big Z. Make sure you catch Birds 365 in the morning there. All right. So earlier today, my man Joe Kraus came on. And Joe, it's like he's like feeling like Santa Claus right now in January. So he's here to help some of you guys and help us out here a little bit on giving people, and he's setting the stage for you. Now, look, I looked it up while some of you guys were talking. The Dallas Cowboy game, and I'm just using that, the Dallas Cowboy game, an average ticket is $399. At MetLife, the average ticket is $425. Okay? Follow me here. So if you have two people, you're talking $850 just for two people for two tickets to one game. Listen what my man's going to do for you as we bring in Joe Kraus here. And Joe's got a nice deal for all the people here with JAKIB Nation. How you doing, brother? What's going on, bro?
Good to be back twice in one day, Big Sills. And I have to say, listening to you and Xander, boy, there's going to be a lot of speculation and a lot of conversation leading into the draft once we've crowned the Rams as your Super Bowl champions, and then all the way through into next season. Man, it's exciting.
How about this? We're 50 days from the start of the new year with free agency as well. By the way, I got to tell you something. Ever since your kid started coming on with our show and where he is now, I got to tell you, man, he's come a long way as a broadcaster, and I don't put anybody on my show, as you know. We put the biggest names as I can find on our show, and your kid's coming along, and I enjoy him being on our segment, and I enjoy talking with him because he's really come a long way. You got to be proud of him, Joe. I mean, there's a lot of people that, I don't think say anything, but he's getting there, man.
Nah, super proud. And listen, sometimes I can't, in all seriousness, sometimes I can't even walk in the studio because I can't hang with his conversation. Sometimes you need to be smart enough to know what you don't know, and you're right. He has really elevated to a point that it's just absolutely amazing.
I'll tell you one thing about the Krauses, and I've stopped doing this because Joe's taught me to punch up, not down. So I used to get these texts from both him and Xander. So I'd post something and I'd see why, why, where are we going? Why? And so it's really been a great relationship, man. I really appreciate it. And you've got something for all the people that have now really helped build JAKIB Nation. What do you got for us here?
Yeah, and if you missed it earlier, if you weren't part of the earlier hit on the Big Sill Show here on the National Football Show, we're moving into year 2 of our partnership with Savvy Seats. And if you wonder why we're scrolling across the bottom, text I want year 2 to Krause at 267-261-3428 as we look at the 26 schedule, and it's not that far away to start to think about it. But here's why. Our partnership last year, I remember coming onto your broadcast, and there was no green lights, there was no green zone at the time, but we talked about our year 1 partnership with Savvy Seats, and we created an opportunity for JAKIB Nation, and we had members from JAKIB Nation at every game on the 2025 schedule. So all 17 games. And as a matter of fact, we had one of our partners who was unable, because of a personal issue, was unable to make the regular season game that they selected. And we sent them to the playoff game.
Wow.
Courtesy of Savvy Seats. That's how amazing Savvy Seats is. And that's why I love this partnership going into the 2026 season. Here's the difference with this year. It's always got to get better, right? It's always got to be better than it was. And Dan, we have blown it out with Savvy for this year. We're going to give those that are interested an opportunity to pick 5 games on the 2026 schedule. Now, the home games are the Rams, the Seahawks, the Texans, the Colts, the Panthers, the Steelers, and then, of course, the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Giants. And so there's 9 scheduled home games. There's no dates or anything yet, but there's 9 home games. And then the 8 games on the road: Arizona, Jacksonville, the Titans, the 49ers, the Bears, and then, of course, the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Giants. So from our earlier hit on the National Football Show earlier today, and we had 10 people react already and reach out from our earlier hit. So you got to get in today. You got to get on board. Listen to their 5-pack. I read you a 5-pack earlier. Listen to this 5-pack. Rams, Seahawks, Cowboys, and then on the road, they took Jacksonville and the Bears. That's a great 5-pack of regular season football for you to attend with a family member, with a friend. It's 2 tickets per game, Dan, 10 tickets total, and the partnership is $1,250 total, $1,250 total. No ticket fees.
None of
that stuff. It's an amazing deal.
I showed you that 2 tickets to like the Cowboys are $800 for 10. It's $8,000, and you're giving it an opportunity for $1,000. You're saving $700.
$7,000, right? $1,250 for all 5 games.
That's crazy
per game. Now, listen,
that's crazy.
The one thing you can do is if you want to trade 2 for 4 and have 4 tickets for 1 game, you can do that once. So I've got to be respectful to the guidelines of the partnership and the promotion. But let's just, like, I had one of your great viewers. She jumped on board, and she's getting the home and away game with the Giants. She doesn't care about the other 3 games. She's getting her husband and her older son. They want to go to the Giants game on the road, and they want to go to the Giants game at the link. So there's some flexibility in terms of what's going to work for you, or if it's you and a couple of buddies. Dan, put 2 buddies together and you're paying $625 each.
Listen, changed.
I mean, the math is the math, dude.
I changed my 5. So we're going to find out what the schedule is in a little bit in months. So we don't know yet, but we're going to know when the dates are coming up here in a couple of months, because the NFL will release the schedule. I'm taking Arizona in Glendale so I can go to Phoenix on a vacation. Then I'm going down to work on my tan in Jacksonville. Then I'm going to go see my boys in Dallas. Then I'm going to go out to San Francisco and enjoy the great area out there where I lived for a while at KMBR. And then I'm going to go home and see my aunt with the New York Giants. That's my 5 right there.
And it's a great 5-pack. I mean, the thing about the 26 schedule, when you're picking 5 of the games, and you're picking 5 that you're going to,
Yeah.
It's not, hey, these are the 5 best games on the schedule. Well, if you say, hey, that's the 5 best games on the schedule, I want to go to those 5 games. You're going. That's the amazing thing about it. Of course, during the season, you get to join me in the green zone. I'll bring you in from the stadium, and we'll do all of that fun stuff. But it really is about saying thank you to JAKIB Nation, supporting a partner like Savvy Seats, who was absolutely amazing. Not to be repetitive, Dan, but we had members of JAKIB Nation in Kansas City, in Green Bay, at every game on this past season's schedule, including the wild card game. Think about that. And we're glad to be able to do it again. So if you're out there, don't hesitate. I want year 2. Text me. When it's gone, it's gone. Listen, there's always seats and there's always tickets. In a world where there are no guarantees, I can tell you this: you will never find an opportunity to attend 5 games for that number.
No question.
Ever, Dan.
Never get the accessibility of those tickets. And by the way, I'm assuming, Joe, we're not talking nosebleed seats either. We're talking really good seats here at these places.
Yeah, we have a Savvy Seats does 3 areas of the stadium. Lower level, club level, or if it's upper level sideline within the first 4 rows.
Gotcha.
Which actually, that's where I lean.
That's a good seat. That's a good seat.
That's a great
Yeah.
seat. We had people last year in the second level in the first row, on a 35-yard line. Like that's a great seat, dude. You're seeing everything. So we'll work through all of that, and I'm just proud to bring it out. And I probably will not get a chance to talk about it again because I think we will run out of slots. But we'll see what your audience does here tonight. Text me at I want year 2 at 267-261-3428. And I can publicly say, before I let you get back to your final 22 minutes, I'm super proud of now being able to watch Dan Sileo on Sports Grid every Saturday and Sunday. The step back into the national arena has been long overdue, Sills.
And it's because you guys,
listen, you
are
a great sports talker.
Let me tell you,
you're full of shit, but you are a great sports talker.
Hey, you know what Mike Cardano said? Mike Cardano goes like this. He said when Joe Krause was going to put me on JAKIB, he goes, "You're out of your mind for putting that guy on." And now I'm on his on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm doing work for him now. And there's no doubt. I mean, we built ourselves back up. We're doing our stuff in the mornings in Tampa too. We're back on the radio down there. So, man. I mean, this is home right here, though, Joe. This is home there. These other things are just a byproduct of what we're doing here. So, again, that's my number one objective is to continue to build. And,
but don't minimize it, Dan.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool.
It's great. I mean, you've got a big national audience on Saturday and Sunday when the football fans are present, waiting for games to start. Yeah. It's going to be amazing for you. I'm proud of you, brother.
Thanks for watching too,
and thank your aunt for watching the Green Zone all season long.
She loves you. That's how she watches the game when she can't watch it in New York. She watches it like she watches you. Like when it's not on. I mean, she goes like this. I watch Joe Krause. I go, I know. I'm
trying to get Xander to let me do the big game to do the Super Bowl, but he shut me down. He doesn't want. He doesn't want to work that day. So and he's in charge, brother.
I got you. Hey, Joe, thank you, brother, man. Make sure you catch out 267-261-3428. Text him right now. to get involved with Savvy Seats. Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate you,
All right,
bro.
brother. Thank you, Sills. Thank you, Jacob Nation.
You got it. That is our friend. By the way, we're also going to pay a little bit more bills here with our friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason, with over $20 billion recovered. Morgan & Morgan is the number one injury law firm in all of America for that reason. They defend you and your family. For more info, do me a favor, please go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Here are executives, according to Jeremy Fowler. Executives are saying these deals will be done. And these will be some of the big moves this coming offseason. Lamar Jackson to the Raiders. A.J. Brown to the Bills. Does that mean Baltimore gets the #1 pick? So, who's got the number? The Raiders have the top pick, right? So let's see here. Well, does that make that job enticing or not? If you don't have Lamar Jackson in the building. So the Raiders have the #1 overall pick. So if you trade Lamar Jackson and you're Baltimore, you're going to get the number 1 pick if you're the Baltimore Ravens. And do you pick? I wonder if Brady is playing a game with Baltimore. We went to see Mendoza, but we're really targeting Lamar Jackson. The general manager was there last night, the owner was there, and Brady was there. Why? I mean, so like if you trade Lamar Jackson to the Raiders, that means that the Baltimore Ravens would have the 14th pick and the first pick in the draft. Do you take Mendoza there? The Jets would have the 2nd pick. Cardinals, here's the order. Raiders, Jets, Cardinals, Titans, Gigantes, Browns, Commanders, Saints, Chiefs. Chiefs have the 9th pick. Cincinnati would have the 10th pick. Raiders need a quarterback, O-line, wideout, corner, edge. I've already started putting some of these things together. Jets, quarterback, O-line, corner, wideout, D-line. Isn't it funny, the top 3 teams? Oh, and here's the other thing. Lamar Jackson to the Raiders. A.J. Brown to the Buffalo Bills. Malik Willis to the Browns or to the Dolphins. Kyler Murray to the New York Jets. Kyler Murray to the Jets. Here's what we wrote as of right now. The Eagles. Edge, O-line, corner, tight end, safety. Blankenship's gone. As of right now, Jalen Phillips is gone. And Dallas Goedert are gone. So here's who you're not going to have on that team. I don't believe you're going to have Goedert. We're going to do this tomorrow more. Goddard won't be there. A.J. Brown won't be there. Dotson won't. Jalen Phillips won't. Reed Blankenship won't. Nakobe won't. You think you're better losing Nakobe Dean, Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, Dotson, Jalen Phillips, Reed Blankenship? Bro, you're not keeping a guy who's always hurt. Do the Eagles go after O-linemen in free agency too? What O-lineman have you ever seen in free agency? Have you ever signed an offensive lineman in free agency? Or if you're going to make a move, don't you trade for him? O-linemen are traded for. Sills, did Beck stop? Why would his stock have dropped? He got to the championship game. He beat A&M. He beat Ohio State. He beat Ole Miss. And he was 41 yards away from a national championship. I don't think his stock dropped at all. I think actually it got better. Sills, what do we get from the Bills? You're not getting a 1. A.J. Brown's not going to get you a 1. Move Juergens to right guard. I think you got to pray that Juergens comes back and he's healthy. Yeah, nobody gives away linemen. Kyler's career with the Jets would be over if that happens. It's over now with Arizona. Milton Williams. Milton Williams is having a great year. Milton Williams had a great year. I thought Peters was a trade. Was he free agency? Okay. Remember something with Jason Peters, though. Jason Peters played until he was 40. That guy was good until a year ago, and he was 42. That guy's a great football. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame guy. Why can't we get a first rounder for AJ? You're not getting a first rounder for AJ Brown. No way. Peters was a trade, okay? We traded with Buffalo. Okay, yeah, that's right. He was up there in Buffalo. That's right. That's how. We are in a rebuild, like it or not. No, I wouldn't say rebuild. I'd say more retool. You're going to have a lesser roster than you did a year ago. You're probably going to be more talented on offense or defense next year than you are going to be on offense. The offense is going to look the same. You're going to hope that you're healthier. What would the Bills give up for AJ? Let me see here. How can I make this trade comparable to? AJ Brown. I got a little machine that AJ Brown. See, the money is also the thing. It's $32 million there. And it goes through 23. It goes through 2030. It'll be 29 in June. See, when he was younger, you could get a first for him. I don't believe. I think it's going to be more like a DK Metcalf deal. What did Metcalf get going to the Steelers? Metcalf was traded from the Seahawks to the Steelers. He signed a 5-year, $150. He got a second round pick, a seventh round swap, and a sixth rounder. That sounds like it right there. You'd get a second rounder, a seventh rounder, and you swap 6 rounders. You're probably going to get DK Metcalf. Let me see what my friend says. Metcalf had 1,400 yards, 1,100 yards. I think AJ's a tad better, but they're the same age. He's going to be 29 also. So you're probably getting. You're probably in that conversation. A second, which is a big pick. I don't believe a 6-12 team. No. Or 7-10. Not where I'm at right now. No way. I still think you're a 10+ win team. I do. Second and a fifth for AJ? That sounds about right. Dude, I do believe you're going to have lesser talent on that team. I do. Second in a player? What does Buffalo have you want? Let me guess. The running back. I believe Diggs went to Houston from Buffalo for a second-round pick. Easily a second for AJ. Diggs is younger, isn't he? I happen to think AJ's better than Diggs. I do. I think AJ's better than Diggs. So, here, let me take a look at something here. Yeah. He's better than Diggs. Trade AJ and Hurts to the Bills for Allen, 2-1s. Why would they do that? I mean, why in the world would the Bills aren't moving? Diggs is 32. I didn't realize he was older. Hey, let me do this again here with our friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason. They defend families. And by the way, one of the coolest things about Morgan & Morgan, they don't get paid unless you win. Simple as that. You know, if you're ever injured on the job, this will be the easiest decision that you guys ever make. Promise you when I tell you, it's family run, family owned with John and Ultima Morgan and the kids. They go across this country with thousands of attorneys, making sure they defend your family. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Mike McDaniel has just informed the Cleveland Browns that he's withdrawing his name for consideration for the head coaching job in Cleveland. Can you imagine the Stundines on this guy? Dan Campbell walked out of the building and out of the interview for him in Detroit. And now he's just informed an NFL team, I have no interest in your job. And you're going to try to hire that guy as your new OC in Philly? Sounds good. All good. All right. Big Joe, appreciate you. Big Z, thank you. 2 to 6 tomorrow, and we shall see you on the flip side.